Welcome back to Seven Raven, everyone. Our Forbidden Lands live play here with the Streampunks. I am Eric, your GM for this final chapter of our 4-part game that we are doing. Just going ahead and address, since it is our last chapter of this particular story, we've been getting a couple of questions if this is a game that we might continue. Y'all have heard us talk about it before. We talked about it when we were wrapping up Clear Skies, but Seven Raven's not a game that's going to go away permanently. We don't believe in short campaigns that don't come back at Streampunks. That goes from Star Jam to Tales from the Loop to Silver Creek to now Seven Raven. So you never know when you might see this group again. Also, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. Like, Forbidden Lands isn't a very nice game sometimes.
We can TPK is what he's saying.
It's kind of what I'm saying. Like,
total party kittens.
These characters again.
Total party kitten. All of you.
Every single member of the party becomes a kitten. I'm telling you, magical mishaps are wild in this game.
They are pretty wild, yes. That being said, I don't actually have any announcements for you guys tonight, except for just as a quick reminder to folks who are interested in supporting the Streampunks. We did put up some new items on our merch store. You can find those up right now on the front page. We just got our Star Jam Rangers patches in, which is pretty awesome because the Star Jam Rangers patch, they are ordered in a certain quantity, and depending on how they sell will allow us if we're able to do any more patches or pins is the big thing in the future. For those of you who don't know, Star Jam is our Spelljammer D&D campaign that we played very briefly, and with the Star Jam Rangers, in their epic cheesiness of their name, capturing the full glory of late 80s, early 90s fantasy sci-fi, are the unit of space rangers that are trying to protect realm space from all the terrible things out there, like, for example, asteroid-sized beholders, which are a thing in Spelljammer, as our party learned rather abruptly entering that asteroid field in the final game. So definitely check that out if you feel like supporting Streampunks and grabbing some merch. That is my only announcement tonight. What do you guys got for me? Anybody got some announcements? Anybody has any snazzy, I don't know, personal brand dice that a dice maker is selling on your behalf, or like wild RPGs that are coming back on Sunday or anything like that?
But I already told you about the dice once.
Yeah, do it again.
Oh,
promote.
There's dice. I don't have. Well, it's in my book. Die Hard Dice. And I did a collaboration for a set of really, really pretty green, looks like jade dice called Enchanted Aria, and an unpainted version called Enchanted Cadenza. Sam will get the joke because Cadenza's finished phrases. It's unfinished. Okay. Bad music joke. But yeah, you can get them at dieharddice.com and just search for Aria. A-R-I-A.
All right. Anybody else got anything?
Wonderful. I have something.
Yes, please.
So tomorrow, Tuesday the 8th, is Metagame. We're back with Metagame on our Discord that is exclusively for coffee supporters. So if you support us at the $10 level or higher, you have access to our VOD of all of these games, plus They Wrote on Wolf. And you can also watch it live on Discord with us. And tomorrow, Sam DeLeve and Riley Silverman are going to join me in a character creation session, which we haven't done for Metagame before. Usually we are, meeting new games, but I found this supplement that I thought was really awesome. It's a D&D 5e supplement that is called An Elf and an Orc Had a Little Baby. Like, how cute is that? Like, how cute is that? I just was like, this sounds adorable. And then I read it and I was like, this is wonderful. And what it does, it addresses the bioessentialism of D&D. So unhooking the idea that if you are this race and only this race, you get these bonuses at the start. D&D Beyond and Tasha's kind of addressed that as well. But this supplement, I think, just adds even more diversity and options in that vein. And so it's awesome. We're going to explore it. We're going to create characters, maybe some even, like would be my PC if I was playing a campaign, and maybe I'll create some NPCs and some, some helpers and things like that. So
you're going to be my child by the end of the session, and I know it, and I don't know where I'm going to put all of those feelings.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun. I'm super excited to do this. And then the other thing this week that's happening is that our Wild Mount campaign is starting Wednesday. Now we delayed a week, but now it is starting. I don't even think they've announced it yet, but I mean, by this time they will have. We're in the future past. So yeah, that's 3 p.m. D&D Beyond's Facebook, and I think on the website too. They'll air it. So that should be fun. And I'm playing an Aarakocra changeling. Inspired by this supplement making mixed parentage characters. So yeah, those are my announcements.
Eric Campbell changeling, that's amazing.
um,
As a quick sidebar, since we were talking about Spelljammer earlier, check out Plasmoids in the Arcana on Earth. It's so funny.
That's what they're called, Plasmoids.
Yeah, you basically get to play Morph from Treasure Planet, except you're not floating, but you're a slimy thing.
You could be.
You're beautiful.
It's
blob.
fantastic. I love it. Anybody else have any announcements?
Yeah. So I stream, once or twice. You're gonna check us here on this very Monday. On Tuesdays, I have the finale for Avatar Legends, the RPG.
Yeah.
4 children with one slutty father. Will they find out who their 5th sibling is? Will they murder their father? Who knows? Find out on Saving Throw Show.
No one has ever done such a good promo in my life.
I was almost
Oh my
expecting you to
God.
say both alike in dignity and fair.
you had me at slutty father. Like,
Honestly,
I'm in.
they had
It
us
was
all
a
at
detail
slutty
I didn't
father.
have to make. The players, the story just wrote itself. It was, it's been a journey.
Don't ever say that the TTRPG community isn't entertaining as fuck. Because we are.
Seriously, every single person I've ever played with has just been a treasure, y'all included.
Aw.
What else do I do? Thursdays, I stream as a fairy rogue playing on Fateforge Academy. Friday, whenever your Friday is, I'm playing Macaroni, a technomancer, trying my hand at Shadowrun. Turns out I hate that system, but that's okay. And then Sunday, finally, Sunday, a system that I love, because you want to know how many dice are involved? 1. It's beautiful.
Sometimes 2.
Is
Sometimes
it
Go,
true?
oh,
And it's true. I love rolling 2d6. It's you hear the clack. It's quite nice. The satisfying rattle on the desk. Beautiful icons. It's a
Desk
good
rattle.
system.
Mhm.
But what's even better about icons is the people that are playing it. And Power Play returns finally with its 5th season. Very excited. Very, very hyped to figure out what all of the players have been doing as our characters. Hanging out in Port Ruby, solving mysteries, helping people, and causing chaos and destruction. Yeah, those are my announcements.
no one even talked about how we're taking care of plants and learning about dogs and stuff. I feel like that is also essential Power Play content.
Genuinely essential.
I'm just laughing because I'm going to call myself out here, but I take such pains to be very, very because I don't know. I just want to be very mindful about calling out things that frustrate me, and it's just the amount of relief and amusement that I was able to live vicariously through you when you said your words about the Shadowrun system just now.
Don't like it. Do not like it one bit.
I love that world so much, but I take damage every time I play the game.
There's a reason why Shadowrun has spawned 1,000 systems to run Cyberpunk, none of which are Shadowrun, and that's perfectly
So many.
okay.
Although
And we
Shadowrun
appreciate all the
Anarchy-
creativity.
Shadowrun Anarchy is kind of interesting. I have not played that
We
one
will
yet. But
talk.
it is a rules light version, and I am definitely interested in checking it out. So,
But for now,
yes. I'm sorry, Sam. You had something.
yes. For now, we are playing Forbidden Lands with these lovely humans, and hopefully none of us will explode. And I'm going to play with everyone at this table again sometime. I don't necessarily have things scheduled. I'm just saying it so it's true, because if you announce things, they ontologically become true, and that's how future is made. So
I'm going to make
actually
all my
true.
money this year as a performer.
Fact.
Hopefully not.
canon.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Boom.
All this year, not just this year though. Like,
It would be nice if it paid my bills at least once before I pay off my student loans.
So-
I had an Eberron campaign come into creation by what you just said. I literally just talked about it
You
on
did?
stream, and then
Yes.
it was a thing that, and now it exists. So look out for that on Sword and Scroll soon. Hey.
I love all of these humanoids. I love playing games with them. I'm excited.
Let's go ahead and begin the final chapter of the story of Seven Raven. When we last left off, you had all just left Seven Raven on a quest for vengeance and justice, to put it mildly. You had caught wind that your quarry had made their way to the east, and you were tracking them. You had just hired a hunter from the Knight and Bard Tavern after a thrilling evening of being able to decompress emotionally and actually enjoy yourselves a little bit, thanks to one goblin bard, Jakob, who jumped up and had one of the performances of their career and blew away everybody. I think you made 8 silver that night, if I remember correctly. Which is in Forbidden Land. That's a lot of money. That's pretty good.
You paid off all
You had
your
a
student
good night.
loans.
Yes. I mean, student loans, other loans. Yeah.
So you made contact with the hunter, a dwarven hunter named Kagik, who you can call, he is since in his hanging with you guys, you can call him Kag for short, like Battlestar Galactica. He is Kag. He is a dwarven hunter that is not quite as standoffish as you expected, particularly when you offered him money for the job. And he has also expressed an interest in learning more about the Miststalkers, particularly when you noticed that A, you had the money to pay him what you're paying him, and B, you kind of do what he already does. It's just monsters, not animals for pelts and food. So that conversation is to be had. But in the early morning hours, you all set off from the perch, meeting up with him at the gates of Seven Raven. The two of you crossed the Wash, also that is the name of the river, and headed into the east towards Whaler's Hold. So let's go ahead and pull up the map, and I'll show y'all where you're at. Also, a big thank you to our community, particularly one I think I should thank Crafty Geek, I think is the name. Oh man, I hope I'm not botching your Twitch handle. I apologize. But requested, very rightly so, to use colorations on our map that people who have difficulty seeing certain shades of color could see. So thank you, Crafty. I went ahead and took your advice into account. And as you see now, we have blue dots on the map. And that should help everyone see exactly which hexes you have all traveled through. So right now, where this one is kind of underlined, this is the hex y'all are currently traveling in. Now, your first quarter day out of Seven Raven was interesting to say the least. You were only 2.5 hours outside the city on your journey when you came across a patch of trees, tall pines. You had just crested a hillside. Kag came running back and brought everyone up to see what he was seeing. You all spotted, for many of you who don't actually know what this is, having never seen it before, but for the players, essentially, what your character spotted was a hot air balloon that had caught into the trees and had completely collapsed. And there is a dwarf in one of the higher branches of the trees, still in the basket, swinging back and forth and calling out to everybody for help as he has spotted you cresting the hilltop. That is literally where we left off in the last. So we're going to start tonight with all of you kind of looking up from underneath the basket as he has poked his head out and is looking down. The basket is about 25 feet over your heads and is just swinging gently back and forth. It is made out of the old school, like weaved baskets, essentially quite expertly made from the looks of it. Doesn't look quite crude at all. Excellent weaves. Leather work has been used, as well as brass studs to keep everything together. Looks like some real work went into whatever the hell he's in and whatever the hell this is and however the hell he got here. But as you've approached him, also worth noting, the question was asked, do we stop and help this guy? Is this really relevant to what we're doing right now? The party agreed, yeah, we should stop and help him. Let's go help him. And that is where we are beginning. As he's looking down at all of you, you can see he's wearing what looks like it looks like a crushed velvet tunic. Kind of wraps around, looks quite well. Has an open like V-neck where you can see a white fluffed shirt underneath. The beard is kept quite trim. Hair is pulled back into a very elegant looking, noble almost-esque ponytail and a ribbon tying the ponytail into the back. Quite well looking to do. Or maybe some kind of nobility or somebody of money, you're not sure. And a big friendly smile on his face, waving as you all approach. He says, hello. Hello. I understand this might look strange to you. Apparently I was attacked by a tree. Not literally, of course, but as I was floating by, there was a tree. I'm in a tree. You can see I'm in a tree. I don't suppose any of you have something like you wouldn't have a ladder on you, perchance, would you? And Cag immediately turns and looks back at you with this incredulous look on his face, like kind of answering the thoughts. Like it would be pretty easy to spot somebody carrying a ladder. Nobody here carrying one.
No, we have no ladders. We have swords, though. We could cut some ropes.
We can just cut you down.
If you fall, you fall.
Oh, I'd rather not. I'd rather not be cut down. You say it took quite a while to build this. I'd rather not ruin it, if that is possible.
Friend, you have two choices here. We are in a rush, and we can help you, or we can leave you here.
Those are very, very rational choices. Yes, I can see that. I might be taking up a little bit of your time. Oh, damn. Is he
like stuck in the basket?
No, he's standing in the basket, just swinging back and forth. But he looks torn right now. Like, do I stay? Do I go? Do I stay? Do I go? He just keeps looking back up at the balloon that is tangled up in the tree, and he goes, you know, yes, of course. I suppose I could always come back. I could always come back.
With a ladder.
Yes, indeed, with a ladder, of course. I can make a ladder if I need to.
So, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish.
Well, I was just going to ask, do you have perhaps like a large blanket I could jump into, or something to catch me as I leap?
I can catch you.
Yeah, we have Gordon's arms.
Gordon.
You see his eyes widen a little bit with anxiety and goes, you want me to jump into the wolfkin's arms?
Just let me get him.
I mean,
it's fine.
Hugs from Gordon are very special, and you're just missing out.
You are missing out, sir. But have it you will.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh boy. So what are they doing?
I'm casting flight on myself.
You're casting flight? That's right. You have rank 3. You are a rank 3 elementalist.
Yes, and flight is only 2.
And flight is only 2.
Nice.
So you're going to fly up there to him?
Yes. I'm going
All
to
right.
fly up and I'm going to retrieve him, and I'm going to use magic for what is arguably a rather trivial cause.
Summoning sorcery. So
Which
in
is
that
a thing
case,
I have told certain mist stalkers repeatedly I don't do. But he just he looked very scared.
so I'm going to have you go ahead and spend your willpower point and make your roll as you call forth the magic. As a quick reminder to some of those who might be watching Forbidden Lands for the first time, magic in Forbidden Lands is incredibly powerful. It's not like D&D where you get saving throws per se. That just happens. It's very dangerous. However, it comes with risk every time you cast. So let's find out how it goes for our elementalist.
Yeah, so I have my grimoire from which to cast.
Okay.
I also have psychic power, which charges it a little bit farther. It means overall I spend 1 point of willpower. The grimoire makes it cheaper, but I have to roll
2 dice.
all 3 dice because I'm
All
casting
3.
2, and then the half elf gives me the extra, whether
Okay.
I like it or not.
I'm just so scared of magic mishaps now. Go ahead.
I have not been.
I'm sorry. I should be instilling you with
I've been
confidence,
this
Sam, and I apologize.
particular-
I know. I'm sorry. I just don't want anything to happen to them. So I'm nervous on your behalf. Go ahead and cast your spell.
Fly so good. I overcharged twice. No
Okay.
mishaps.
So if you overcharge twice, here's what I'm going to do, because there's no real benefit to overcharging on a spell like flight. So what I'm going to rule is you're going to get, first of all, I'm going to give you back, I'm going to refund your willpower point.
Thank you.
And second of all, I'm going to let flight stay in action here, that if you want to take him and fly him down, I will let him also be affected by the spell. It's going to have a bit
I
of
was
a
really just going to try my luck and hope that between flight and carrying a man, we approximated a feather fall.
Essentially, what I'm going to do is he's going to grab hold of you, and then the wind, because you're an elementalist, so this is literally the wind whipping up around you, the grass starting to sway violently underneath the small patches of snow that have started to form along the ground here in late fall. It just starts whipping around. You all see this cold wind gather around, and as it happens, Phaedry takes to the air, just and lifts. You all watch, kind of, particularly Cag, his mouth kind of hangs open as Phaedry, you extend your palms outward and just your feet leave the ground, just like gracefully leaving the earth as you sail up towards the basket. You see his eyes widen too. He mutters something in Dwarvish and makes a sign of like reverence towards the gods as he sees you approaching. And as you arrive up to the basket, he gets exactly what's happening, and he just nods and reaches out. And as he takes hold of your hand, the sorcery overcharge, the wind immediately whips up around the two of you. As this happens, the basket begins to sway, but you manage to pull him easily out, and the two of you drift back down gently to the ground and touch down. And the wind just finally just starts to slowly die down as the sorcery, the magic around you begins to fade away.
Wow.
And he just goes, "Oh, I needed a balloon to do what you just did. That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, maybe sometime in the future I could hire you to help me recover this remarkable device that I've created. It allows me to fly as much as you were just now. A bit of an experiment. First time."
I just remembered that I have a fear of heights, but thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, in that case, may I offer you a chance to make some money? So if you were able to use that incredible power of yours to help me recover the balloon, I would be willing to pay. It undoubtedly will be damaged, of course, but if we could somehow dislodge the cloth portion that you see up there in the tree limbs and whatnot, if we could get that done without causing too much damage, I would be most willing to pay for this. Cag immediately speaks up and goes, "Do we have time for this right now?"
Can we have a moment to like hustle and chat for just a 3 seconds?
Of course, of course. And takes a couple of steps back.
The keep, it could really use the funds to get repaired.
That's true.
But Tedri, is there something you want to do again? It's kind of like menial tasks. Gordon, could you climb the tree and perhaps?
Actually, while you're discussing this and asking Deidre if they want to, I'm climbing the tree.
Yes.
Okay, that's a move check.
I don't want to sit around and debate.
Okay, that's a move check.
I simply want to.
Enough of this talking nonsense.
Yeah.
Too much noise.
To Sylvain and like you're just gone, and they're like,
the world is
Yeah.
too noise, and I need it to be not noise.
So make yourself a move check.
I don't have to use willpower, right?
No, you absolutely do not. No.
Okay.
This is just a move check. This is literally your check to see if you can successfully get up that tree.
1 success.
That's all you need. Y'all are having this conversation, and Thaidri, you start seeing movement just over the shoulder of Cag, who is listening impatiently, and leaning your head over. You all start catching that Thaidri has noticed something kind of amusing, but as everyone turns to look, Sylvain is already halfway up the tree and is about to reach the basket.
Well, you asked if I could climb, but she can. We know that much.
Yeah, très bon.
It has now been empirically demonstrated. Yes, maybe we should get under her just for safety.
Gordon, get your arms ready. You've got
Exactly.
strong arms. Yes.
Gordon extends
need-
the arms and walks, just stands under the tree. I got
So
you.
Responding to this, as you turn around, the dwarf turns back to all of you and goes, "Oh, you've decided then." And not seeing Sylvain, just comes over and says, "So, what will it be?" "Oh, I apologize. Obviously, an emergency demanded. My name is Andred, and I'm at your service. I am an inventor, a crafter, as it were. And I'm more than happy, as I said, to pay you for the act of... What is everyone looking at? Oh, please be careful. Oh, gods. Oh, please don't cut that loose. It needs to be attached." And he runs over to the base of the tree and starts looking up at you with a fraught expression. Sylvain.
I would like to disentangle the balloon and drop the cloth on his head.
Okay.
While
so
also yelling, "Money, please."
Okay. If you're going to disentangle the balloon, I'm going to have you roll for it. And this is going to be difficult.
Oh, boy. Great.
Because you are trying
what
to
I want to hear.
disentangle. Yeah, you were trying to disentangle a hot air balloon from tree branches.
Which
And
makes no sense.
it's
Why is
not
it
a
here?
small, it is not a small undertaking. So let me see. Oh man. You know what?
Do you need help?
You know what I think? If you're going to try to disentangle this without damaging it,
Mm.
I'm going to call for a sleight of hand check.
Yeah, because you really like me on this channel.
I
right?
love Sylvain. So go ahead and roll sleight of hand. That's your agility and sleight of hand.
Okay. I'm gonna push it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
What have you done?
What did we
One
do?
success and 1 bane.
Oh, okay. So you're going to take a point of damage
Out
to your
of 3
agility.
dice.
So we can. So this is how this works. You all watch, kind of mesmerized, is Sylvain in just like. I wanted to be. I think I might be confusing Kelly and Sylvain, but I was like that dogged, stubborn refusal, like redhead refusal to be defeated, like will not relent to get this job done. Like
No, that's both of us.
It's the same
that's
picture.
about right. Yeah. So Sylvain, however practical this may or may not have been, Sylvain refuses to not let this go. Refuses to not let this go, and refuses to see an opportunity to make coin pass by, and just takes initiative, gets up there. You all watch as she spends about 10 minutes meticulously cussing under her breath as she's pulling this thing free, at a few points losing her temper and jerking like the cloth away from a tree, and kind of calming herself down, and then like reasserting. And after a few minutes, you see the basket just go drop a little bit, and then you hear cracking sounds of the tree limbs, and the whole thing just comes crashing down to the ground. Perfectly fine. This big cloth just, and he goes, no, 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 yes, 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 it looks fine. It looks, you've done excellent. And as he's passing around and saying this, and Sylvain is popping down off the tree, Sylvain, as you are climbing down the tree to reflect the 1 point of damage you just took to your agility, your eagerness and the exhaustion in your limbs to get back down that tree, the corner of your boot catches on some bark that just cracks and splits, and you slide a good 1.5 feet and fall to landing on your feet, but ow, your ankle when you hit the ground. Just, it's not a twist, but it's enough to make you, God damn it, kind of like impact hard on the ground, adding to the irritation, but successfully done.
Also something Kelly would do, so that's nice.
So he runs around the balloon and just goes, miraculous. I thought this would have taken days.
It's
Well
going
done.
to be extra money because we did it so quickly as well. You understand.
I think that's fair, to be honest with you. I think that's completely fair. May I have your names, please, so that I can remember in the future if I need to call upon you in case I find myself in a tree again?
Oh, yes, might I? To begin, we are the Mistalkers. We are
Roll your
great
reputation
travel.
score.
Oh, okay.
The moment it comes out of your mouth, roll your reputation score.
Yay, I've never
And-
rolled it before.
So roll, it's 2 dice.
Just, okay, because you only have
Just,
2.
it's just 2 dice, and you can't get Banes on this, so it's like skill dice, but it's just. His
success.
eyes brighten up as you continue talking, Jakob. He has clearly heard of you.
We are magnificent killers of monsters. We travel kind of far, but mostly we stay around here. Seven Raven is important to us, but I am the infamous goblin bard, Jakub, and these are my companions.
Roll your reputation score again, if you would, please, Jakob.
Yes.
And Jakob, I forgot to tell you this from the last game after your incredible performance, but please gain 1 die to your reputation.
Okay.
So your reputation becomes 3 now.
That's
After your
exciting.
performance rolls during the last game. So roll 3 dice and let me know if you get a success.
1 success.
He's heard of you. You just see him go, the Miststalkers, of course, have said. Wait, you're Jakob? I thought you were a
It's
dwarf.
true. It's me.
Oh my god, it's such a pleasure to meet you.
Salutes everything. It's you could shake my hand if you like.
Oh, I would be honored if I may. And he shakes his hands and he says, yes, of course. I'm so flustered right now. It's an honor to meet you. And yes, let me see what I can do to compensate. Also, Jakob, I've heard so much. It's an honor to meet you. Money. And he goes over to the basket and you see him. Looks like he snaps something on the side of the basket, and a door, which was not visible to anybody, cracks and swings open. You're starting to get an idea of how engineered this basket is as he swings it open and steps inside. You see inside the basket, looks like there are sacks and provisions, as well as a couple of small chests, in which he moves over to the chests. And when you hear him clicking it open, opens it up, you hear some clinking sounds. And when he comes back to all of you and he goes, if you will permit me, thank you. I could have been prey to thieves or bandits or any kind of vicious creatures that came through here, but instead I was rescued by the Miststalkers, in particularly this angry one, and points at Sylvain and says, so I would like to offer this as my deepest appreciation. And he hands you a gold piece. Says, if you would please.
Wow.
And for you, my dear lady, for saving my wonderful contraption. Thank you. And he hands you a gold piece, Sylvain.
Of course, I mean, it's good that you acknowledge the worth of services.
I
Yes, well,
literally
now-
flew by magic. I harnessed the wind. No.
Yeah, it clearly states where his values are. He was less concerned about his own life than he was his contraption. And he moves over to it and says, well, I must get to work trying to get this back airborne. You've managed to save it, so maybe I can actually get home. Or perhaps I'll find myself across the mountains of the Iron Loch. Who knows where the wind will take me. But I will look for you, all of you. Please be safe, be well. Good journeys to all of you. And thank you again for saving I haven't named it yet, but I think I might call it a warm air pocket.
You should name it after yourself. You should call it a hot air balloon. That's what you should.
A balloon.
Come, Sylvain. I think that is our out now. Before he parses it entirely. Come on, come along.
Sylvain mutters to Gordon. She's like, I should have jumped.
Balloon.
I should have
I was
should have
there to
jumped.
catch you.
I would have gotten a Gordon hug.
Yeah.
I didn't take my own advice.
I was standing
Cag-
there with my arms outstretched.
Cag looks like he was in the middle of putting tobacco back in his pipe, and when he notices we're finally underway again, he goes, "Oh, damn it!" Puts it away and tucks away the pipe. And welcome to the random encounter table of Forbidden Lands.
Yes.
You all journey forth, getting 2 gold out of the encounter for handling it brilliantly.
Who keeps our money?
Yeah.
Whoever wants to hold that.
I will just hand my gold
Whoever
piece over to Thaydri, and at the same time we'll mutter something about, oh no, Sylvain, I can't help you with your laundry. Magic's not for mundane things. No. It just keeps walking.
Parching is a complicated spell, and the things I have seen magic do to a man. No.
I'm already back up with Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh yes, no, I'm aware. I'm talking
Yeah.
nothing but your gold
I know.
into the little purse.
Phaedria is totally having like angry Gollum alone time right now, just like imagine asking for. And you all continue marching to the southeast, headed towards Whaler's Hold. We'll head back to the map now, and as we go back to the map, let's keep in mind you're moving to the southeast. So let's bring up the map if we can, please. And I'm going to mark here, heading into this quadrant. So you're going to be heading into this hex. Now, as you can see here, there's a lot of hillsides here, and that's actually denoting that you're moving into rough terrain. So as the quarter day continues, I'm going to make a journey roll now on behalf of your guide, and that's Cag. Cag is going to be rolling on the journey table to ensure that everything goes smoothly and that he leads the way properly. However, one of you will need to keep watch as y'all are moving through this area. So whoever has a good scouting score, you would be the ideal person to use for keeping watch.
I took a point in scouting. There was enough of it that I was avoiding, but like I feel like Jakub got to see what scouting was really all about, so like he was able to learn that way.
Okay. You are officially entering into the mountains areas. All right, so I'm going to say go ahead and make your scouting check then, if you would please, Jakub. I'm going to make a roll here for.
All right.
This is a survival roll.
A Bane and a success, but Banes don't count on the first rolls, right?
Nope, Banes do not count. They only count when you push. That's when they kick in. All right, let's see how. 3 successes. You hired a very good guide. Cag did quite well and is guiding you well towards your location. Let's see if you have any encounters now. Nothing. The rest of the journey right now is uneventful. The next quarter day, however, this is going to be the final quarter day of your travel, because you can travel. Oh no, you can actually travel another. Yes, you could actually. So right now, because hold on, I'm going to refer to the journey rules real quick, because unless you can remember off the top of your head, Sam, but I think you can journey through. Oh, here we go. You can do 2 hexes per quarter day. So yeah, this is just the early morning.
Yes, until we get into difficult terrain, at which point we're down to 1 hex per quarter.
Yes, in which case you are a difficult terrain now. You are in the mountainous areas. Right now you are seeing that plains have given way to the cold, rocky crags of the mountainsides. And y'all have entered into a very beautiful, ancient terrain that has not been entered into in quite some time. You're getting to see some of those rocky cliffs, like Rohan. Think of it like all of the big rocky outcroppings that are just spurting up out of the beautiful greenery that around you. The place is not quite as easy to pass through, and there are an alarming number of places where all of you can imagine things jumping out at you from ambush. So that is going to slow you to 1 quarter day on the map, which means if you choose to press forward, it will be the end of the second half of the day, which will put you arriving in Whaler's Hold at night. And that's a question I have to ask. Do you want to camp now, or do you want to enter Whaler's Hold as the sun has set?
No.
I'm just going by the name, and I'm thinking that's not a good idea.
I do love a good story, but I
mean-
mean surviving as well.
One has to be around
I
to
think
tell
we
it.
could take him. I think we could take him, but you know.
Cag scratches his beard a little bit and says, if you want, I could go alone and just scout ahead. I'm pretty good at laying low and not being seen. Hunter by trade. I could see, without getting into any trouble, maybe get a look from far away as to what we can expect to find up there.
Question for you, Cag, before we answer your question.
Right.
Where do the brothers stay? Because that's where you were going to take us, right? Do they stay in Whaler's Hold or elsewhere?
That's where I've seen them, yes.
All right.
I
see.
should ask a question here as well, because this wasn't really discussed when I was hired. So I should bring it up. And before I ask, please don't think the worst here, but I do need to ask, am I going to be expected to fight alongside you all? Is that part of the payment plan? Because I understood that I was just guiding you here.
I did not think that far.
We only paid you for guiding.
Yeah.
And therefore it's your choice. If you decide to fight the entirely evil, need to be eradicated from this world brotherhood.
Right. Yeah.
Or if you'd like to watch us do all the work. It's totally up to you, honestly.
Subtlety's
Whether or not
not
you
your
have a
thing, is it?
stake in this fight, whether this benefits your good as well,
I mean-
independent of involvement with Mist Stalkers.
I mean, I suppose that you could hedge your bets and see if there's an opening in the group afterwards.
That brings me to my second question. If you have a place at the Perch and you're making money hunting monsters and all, I was going to make the proposal, why don't we call this my audition?
Why don't we?
All right, then. I help you bring down some of the nastiest bastards that have walked Ravenland and oppressed my people. And in return, you consider me for a spot in Mist Stalkers.
Agreed.
Yes.
All right, then. In that case, back to my original point. If you want, I don't mind scouting ahead and seeing if I can spot anything. And if I sense any danger or if the risk is too great, I'll just head straight back.
Understood.
Very well. We'll start setting up here then.
Yeah,
All
sounds
right,
good.
then.
Just don't be followed on your way back.
He looks at you and goes, that's a good idea. And pulls his hood up and starts dashing off into the rocky countryside. And he departs. If this was the old Final Fantasy game, you would just see the text, Cag has left the party.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and make a camp roll. It's been a hot minute, but we're going to make camp. So whoever wants to do this, as with most things in Forbidden Lands, it is just the yummiest attribute or skill set you can have. Survival being one of the key attributes of a fantasy survival game. No surprise. If you want to make camp here, one of you needs to make a survival check to find... oh, you know what, though? Why don't we do this? Because Cag doesn't have to leave until sundown, truly, because he can take that. So what he could do is, well, no, hold on. All right, let me work this out in my head, because I was going to say Cag could help you all set camp, but that's going to take a quarter day as well to find a campsite.
He might need that time, yeah.
He'll need that time if he's going through rough terrain.
Yeah.
So okay, so never mind. He wouldn't be able to, because if he wants to get back and have a quarter day's rest and not get the sleepy condition, he will need to go now and come back. So, okay, so one of y'all will have to make the survival roll for setting up camp.
Mine is 1. I don't know if anybody else has better.
Only a 1.
Yeah, same. And
Okay.
my wits is 3.
Okay.
Normally, I would be well suited. Normally, I'd have, well, my actually, I might still be all right, because I am still, per my character sheet, broken down to my very last wit. I'm not
Whoa.
broken yet, but I'm not saying anyone in particular has gotten on my last nerve, but she is there just sawing away at it just a touch.
Didn't you get the wits back when we rested overnight though?
I suspect it happened earlier in the day before we arrived at the balloon, or I would have cleared it.
Okay.
So I think it happened today, or else my character sheet is out of date. But even so, I still have a wits of 1, a survival of 3, gear bonus, because my flint and steel spell component technically does also have practical purpose, and 2 points in quartermaster. So I think even
gotta
with
be you.
5 of
Still
my
be
wits
the best, yeah.
broken,
It's probably you, yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
still the one.
But you are making a wit survival roll, so let's hope you don't get any banes on the push.
I
if
mean,
you have-
we're just not.
you're just not gonna push.
I mean, I think it would. It would
Sure.
be.
No, I don't blame you.
Monumentally poor idea.
Yep.
And yes, we know I love this, but I only have 1 wit to roll on, so only the skill die would go wrong.
1 wit. That should be. I shouldn't have named it 7 Raven. I should have just named it 1 wit.
Hmm.
Ally Tatri, before you are going to step camp, I think there is something I should try to help you with.
Oh, lovely.
So I took rank 2 in Path of the Hymn. So
Yes,
a number
you-
of your comrades equal to the number of my WP
Points.
that I spend. So I have a weird question about willpower points. Do I stack them, or have they been disappearing after each session?
No, they
roll.
stay until you've spent them.
Oh dang. Okay.
Yeah, so y'all have been stacking up on willpower, if I remember correctly.
I'm full up. Yes, I have to throw fireballs at things very soon.
You're full. You've got full willpower.
Yes. It's part. You know how my wits got broken all the way down to 1? That means I got 5 willpower just from that.
Oh my
my
god,
goodness.
that is okay. Y'all are very prepared for the fight ahead. Holy shit! Wow.
Well-
For anybody who's watching at home who doesn't know what that means, willpower is what you use to not only power sorcery but to activate talents. It's a very valuable resource. When you break or when you take damage from pushing rolls, the flip side to that is you gain willpower. Sam got smacked around via wits and results has gained a lot of willpower as a result of that. So there is an enormous amount of firepower to be called down because of the willpower rolls that y'all
Roll
have.
firepower. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah. So I want to heal some of their
yeah,
wits.
do it. Do it.
I have to
Jakob.
spend my willpower. But that's okay. I gotta really be realistic about what my use is going to be in this battle.
Yeah, you don't even have to roll. A number of your comrades equal to your willpower you spend within short range recover 1 point of damage to an attribute. You can decide
so I
which
can only
attribute
heal
they all
1.
recover. Equal to the number of
1
willpower
point.
you spend. Oh yeah,
Oh.
you can only heal 1, but
3.
however much willpower you spend, that's how many people get that 1.
Okay, yeah.
So
So
it's 1
everybody
willpower
can
per person.
up one of their attributes. Like
It's it.
healing it.
Right. Okay. I don't
Each
have
recover 1
anything
point
to
of
heal
attribute
some.
to an attribute. You decide which attribute that they all recover. So you have to pick 1 attribute that they all recover.
Wits.
Yeah.
Wits.
Okay. So Jakob begins to hum a tune and tune the musical instrument. And then a few moments later breaks into song and starts playing a tune.
This is a song about being rich. It's probably a little bawdy. I think if Cag were here, he would really enjoy it. But since they're not, I think really only Sylvain can truly appreciate the essence of the song.
Okay.
As I
Possibly.
regain my wit, there's no proof that I do. Certainly not that anyone sees on my face. I try to turn away when no smiles.
It's all about what you can spend your money on, and it's all terrible things.
All of the things you have all been through up to this point has had little moments of reprieve, but the truth is that out here on the road, hunting down on a quest for justice against someone who is very dear to all of you, Jakob takes this moment as you're all trying to set up camp to break out into a bawdy song. And at first, it does that thing where it just doesn't feel appropriate. And that's actually kind of how it starts to win you over as Jakob doubles down on some of the very raunchy and bawdy things that the song contains, and the rhymes are so clever as they play, the lot of you, however much you attempt to resist it, find yourselves uplifted and smiling to yourself, and maybe trying to mask a little bit of a laugh from time to time. Everyone regained 1 point of wits, and now we can do the roll. Daedry, if you want to roll to make camp.
I've rolled to make camp roll. I got a success.
Nice. Okay.
Woo.
Easy enough. Daedry actually finds a really nice spot to bed down for the night, near one of the outcropping of one of these great stones that are coming out of the grass. It looks like a pretty relatively safe spot where you wouldn't have to cover your backs while you were sleeping at night.
Oh.
Now the next part.
And I do have the +2 to keep watch now.
Okay.
From that second rank of quartermaster.
Oh, nice. Okay, so the campfire is lit. Crackling fire begins to spread some warmth throughout the campsite as people are laying down bedrolls. And for those of you who don't have one, just laying out your pack so you can sleep on it. As this is happening, Daedry, I'm guessing that's you saying you'll take first watch. We need 2 watches.
I'll take the next one.
Okay. Now,
Is it really
taking
me
watch
saying-
is What's that?
Was that really me saying that? Okay. I mean, the
Well,
+2
I don't know.
bonus is still there at
You
least.
speak up. Is it not? You were
I
offering
mean,
your
I
stats.
only have 2 wits, so I'll be rolling a total of 4. If anyone has more than 2 wits right now.
So then what you
I
could do is
do.
you could sleep. Okay, then why doesn't then we could have Jakob could take first watch, and then
Yeah.
your wits will have healed by then,
Mhm.
because they heal
Yes.
over if you get 1/4 day's sleep, it'll heal up, and then you can take second watch.
Yeah, I probably
which
won't
case-
push on second watch, just warning you, because I need
Mm.
I need to keep my wits about me. I
Hey.
use them
Yep,
for
yep,
things.
yep. Okay, in which case I need to roll on the encounter table to see what. There's a couple of rolls that I have to make now. So go ahead and roll your scouting check, Jakob, as everyone starts to bed down for the night, and after conversation stops, it starts to get quiet in the camp, and the crickets can start being heard. And eventually your party falls to sleep as you just kind of sit upon the rock and glance about, keeping your eyes out for anything, watching over your party. Make your scouting roll.
I got 1 success.
Awesome. Let me see. Let's see. This is mountains. No, those are mishaps. There we go. And the result is
Fear. Eric, the suspense.
I know.
I have to read what I rolled here.
Ah.
Oh, no.
No, because that means it's a thing
It's
with
It's a
reading.
lot. Yep. Oh no.
A dwarf in a hot air balloon drops
Right,
down
how many
on us.
people in hot air balloons?
Can we make more friends? I like Adrid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no,
Ready.
okay. It's a lot.
You see them before they see you, Jakob.
Okay.
About 2 hours into the watch, as you're just kind of sitting there, plucking at the strings a little bit and looking around, you stop and stiffen up a little bit as you think you see something moving in the dark not too far away. With your goblin eyes, you're able to pierce the darkness just beyond the firelight and see shapes that other people couldn't see. If you were in total darkness and not inhibited by the firelight, you'd be able to see perfectly right now. As it was, though, you do have enough vision to be able to gaze out into the night and see
Mhm.
movement, particularly because it looks like there's more than one, whatever it is. You kind of glance over and slowly rise to your feet, instinctively sensing that danger is approaching. And you start hearing this sort of talking. It takes you a few moments before you're certain you see what looks like a wing of some kind on one of these things, which now is a good time. Whatever it is, it's not friendly, and it is approaching the campsite. Whether it knows y'all are here or not, it's hard to say, but the firelight is giving you away. So what would you like to do?
Up, 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 everybody. Everybody get up.
Okay,
And I'm gonna
everyone,
start
you don't have to
kicking.
roll or anything.
Mm.
Everyone
Sure.
has started awake when you hear Jakob going up,
What?
up, up, everybody, up.
Oh, yep. What's going on?
Yeah, it's danger. Birds.
What?
Harpies. Hippogriffs.
Roll lore.
griffins.
If y'all want to, everyone can roll lore right now if you'd like.
Lore, yeah.
If you want to make a lore check,
And we're still on first.
as
wall.
Jakob is just kind of going,
3 successes.
3 successes.
I super know what this is.
0.
I'm gonna hate it.
Why did it? Okay, cool. I'm gonna.
Good for
switch
one.
this.
I'm not quite Jakob, but I get by.
Yeah, 3 successes. Yeah, you nailed it. Harpies. You see 3 of them.
Harpies.
You can the moment you spot them, like you feel like your body stiffen up a little bit. Harpies are very dangerous, and you can hear them like barking and squawking at each other. They have clearly caught your scent, and they are about to leap off the rocks and sail right towards all of you, particularly because it looks like they realize that you've spotted them first.
Harpies have a special taste for goblins. I do not know if that is actually true, but please, Sylvain gets up.
As you get up, the harpies charge in, flying straight at you all.
Sword out.
Yep.
Everyone, because of Jakob's roll, everyone is prepared, and you can ready yourselves. Go ahead and roll initiative. I hate it when I'm playing Witcher and I'm in a boat and I get attacked by harpies. It's the worst, because then you got to get up. And then, of course, Geralt is swinging the sword in a boat. There's not a lot of room, and you're dodging, and it's like overboard, again and again. Anyway.
Oh, gosh. Can you remind me?
It's a D10.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got an 8.
8. Okay. 1 second here. And this is where I would normally start playing music that would get us sued. Do you want to get sued? Because The Witcher 3
you are
has
cordially
some of the best
invited to play music in the background. So that might get
Yes.
us sued.
Yes, indeed.
Mm.
Okay, Theodry, and then Sylvain. All right.
Yeah, I got a 9.
Oh, nice.
So 8 for Gordon.
Not nice. I think higher is bad in this, right?
Higher's bad. Yeah, you want
Yeah.
lower. What did you roll, Jakob?
Damn it! I got a 3.
You're going first. I'm sure. Let's see. Theodry, how'd you do?
I got a 2.
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
All right.
All right, how'd the harpies do? They roll a 3.
Oh gosh.
They're all charging in on you. So, Theodry, you stiffen up. You see, sure enough, there are 3 harpies. They are squawking. You can make out they're over. they are the Saxcar nightmare of just cross talking, as they are just talking at each other over and about how they're going to devour, eat, and steal everything that you own. Harpies are known for slaughtering people and stealing shiny objects from their bodies. They seem particularly interested in all of you. What do you do? They are currently at long range.
I would like to hold for them to close to short.
Okay.
I have a spell that I will cast at short range while they are still flying toward us.
Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them their move action, and then I'll let you interrupt. Now, I don't know that that's an official Forbidden Lands rule, but I'm going to go ahead and house rule that. So I'll let them move in, and then what Forbidden Lands does is it lets you, when you're holding your action or you want someone else to go first, you permanently switch your order with the person that you're holding for in the initiative order. In this case, though, I'm just going to let you hold. We won't get into the details on that. We're just going to do they're going to get to move, and then they'll have their slow action next. So their movement is 2. So they are in fact going to close from long to range modifiers. They're going to go from long range to short range, and then short range, they're going to swoop in on near range.
Should still work.
Jeez.
They'll still be within that range. So I circle step just a touch away from my allies, lest anything go horribly wrong. And the wind starts to rustle, and this time it doesn't lift me up. It gets much, 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 much bigger, and I will cast a tornado into them.
Okay.
Forcing air into a spin, you unleash a powerful whirlwind. Your target is pummeled and suffers damage equal to the power level as blunt trauma. You can distribute the damage to several targets in the same zone. Also, everything in the target zone must make a might roll to stay standing. Flying creatures must make the same roll to stay in the air.
Okay, so I'm going to rule that the damage is not going to hit your party, but everyone is going to have to make a move roll to stay standing.
Okay, the fast action to move away isn't enough.
It is going to be enough for you to move, but that's going to put them. They're basically going to be.
Because I'm casting upward, ideally.
Yeah, but the range of this spell, because it is not a precision spell. I'm going to say that if they're moving into their range, you're going to blow everybody off their feet if they fail the move roll, but it's going to hit all 3 of these harpies, and it's going to do damage to only the harpies.
Okay.
So,
and I trust y'all's might roll. It's a strength roll.
It's a strength roll. Oh, it's a might roll. It's a stay standing. Okay, so everybody make your might checks real quick.
No,
and then
can I not make?
I know.
move?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This is the power of magic.
Well. Oh gosh. Oh.
Getting up is a fast action, if nothing else, so you don't have to worry too much about getting caught flat-footed.
A push.
Yes, but ideally, this brings them down to all of you.
A push made me succeed.
Push gave me 2 successes.
Oh, nice.
2
Nice.
successes here as well.
Your party
Gordon.
endures the wind. All right, so what's happening to them now, Thadri? You have cast this tornado.
Yep,
Did
I
you
have
roll
to.
that?
I have to roll the spell. I have to roll
Yeah,
the spell.
roll the
I have to roll the spell. I have to
Here
roll
we
the spell.
go. Roll the
I have to roll
spell.
the spell. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it at a 4 because level 3 plus half elf.
Okay, this works. What'd you roll?
2 mishaps.
2 successes
2
mishaps?
and an overcharge.
and an overcharge. All right, so let's resolve what happens to the harpies first. So how much damage is that total?
5.
5 points of damage.
Mm-hmm. Because of the over, I did for 4
Okay.
plus 1.
The wind whips up around you, and as you're casting the magic, I have to roll in the mishap first because
R.I.P. all of my bones.
oh, here we go. Okay, so you're going to suffer a point of damage to your strength as pain just suddenly lashes through your body as you begin to feel it, Thadri, as the wind is summoning forth and the entire night begins to respond. You're all watching awestruck as Thadri once again summons the incredible power of sorcery. And as this happens, Thadri, you can feel a little bit slipping out of your control, and pain begins to explode out from your limbs and down your legs, up your back. You can feel it. You hold on, take a point of damage to your strength. And then the second mishap, your magic permanently alters your appearance. The GM decides how.
Oh.
Okay.
Mm.
The wind whips up around you, Thadri. You're just holding it together as the pain courses through your body, and all of a sudden your eyes begin to burn. They feel like they haven't been moist, like wind has been blowing in them nonstop. You instinctively squeeze them closed, but the burning doesn't stop. It doesn't feel like it's lack of moisture. In fact, now you're feeling a headache spreading through your body. And after a few moments, you just... However, on the far side of this magic spell, the harpies are basically tossed like rag dolls in a hurricane wind. They go slamming into each other, screeching in terror and rage. As per the rules for the harpies, as they slam into each other, their action is next since you held yours, Thadri. Harpies have the cowardly trait. Harpies are cowardly creatures and never fight until death. When their strength of the flock has been halved, the harpies automatically flee from the fight. They screech in rage and terror from the sheer power of the sorcery, and as they collide together, they flee. You just see the whole flock start immediately regaining. A few of them get up off the ground and start screeching in terror and flying in the opposite direction. And they escape into the night as quickly as they can. Using their actions, they flee the combat and head off to the dark. The wind around you all is thankfully nothing has caught fire, but the campfire has been completely put out, and it is dark all around all of you. You can't really see very well. Jakob, you can see perfectly fine. But it is dark as night now. And you can hear the harpies fleeing and screeching in the distance.
Oh, they are leaving. T3, that was amazing. If I look over at Phaedry,
Mm,
what do I see?
What do you see? Phaedry looks like they are catching their breath and wincing as they're holding their head. You can't really make out too much because right now they seem to be completely just holding their face, but something is different about them. Something's different about their hair. Something's different about the length of their fingers. Something is different.
Do half elves get any kind of vision bonus in the dark in this? I just looked in the player's handbook and couldn't find
I
anything.
think goblins are the only ones.
Okay.
Goblins are, I believe, the only ones that do.
It's because we're special.
Is the fire still lit?
No, the fire's been put out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like pitch black with only like the stars overhead if it's not a cloudy sky.
Gordon calls out, "Is everyone all right? Where is everyone?"
Follow my voice. If you want to come here, Marco. No, I don't know what that is. That doesn't exist. Here. Why don't I just walk to you all? And I'm gonna try and grab Gordon and Sylvain first, just like hand holding. And then
yeah, Sylvain just drops her sword at that point so that you don't, cut yourself.
Terrifying.
Gordon has sheathed his sword, waiting
both
for a
have
pickup.
Scary swords.
Where's Phaedry?
Perhaps this is something we should all see together because I am not good in crisis situations. I need some support, and they might need the support as well.
Yeah. So Sylvain lets go of Gordon, not Gordon. Oh God, Jakob's hand, and I could have been holding Gordon's hand too. It's very comfy. And kind of kneels down next to where Phaedry was.
Yeah, you can feel them. They haven't moved.
They're just, reaches out to touch their hand.
Phaedry's hand feels a little different. It doesn't feel quite as soft as somebody's hand who has been turning book pages most of their life. It feels different texture, a little stiffer. The skin feels a little tougher. You're not sure it's Phaedry's hand for a second.
Does anybody have a fire except Phaedry? Any supplies? Can we make a fire?
Yeah, it's easy enough to start the campfire up again. It's not a problem at all. You can just say, I'm going to start the campfire. You don't have to roll for it because you already made the successful roll to make camp. So taking out the flint and striking up a fire to get the campfire roaring again is easy enough to do.
Yeah, I would probably ask Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon's already heading over to start the fire, restart
the fire lights up, and gradually the yellowish orange light begins to spread out until it finally gives you that warm glow that is now encompassing the camp. Sylvain, when you look at Phaedry, their face is still covered in their hands, but you can see there's been changes. First of all, their hands look like the coloration of the skin has changed slightly to a more like literally on the color palette, almost a more golden color. And the nails have turned black. They've also elongated slightly. And the knuckles look very strange as they build up, almost bird-like as you are holding on. And they start removing their hands from their face and wincing from the headache. You can see intermixed with their hair around the ridge of their hair on their head. You can see the unmistakable appearance of what looks like feathers that have sprouted and grown a little bit off the sides, but that's not as striking as their eyes, which have changed to a vibrant, like striking bright orange, like an owl's eyes, with a large pupil, distinctly different from a human's eyes or an elf's eyes or any other humanoid's eyes. And you feel you don't see any different, Phaedry. As you're blinking, you just feel a little bit of that pain, but it's almost like a piece that summoning that sorcery to repel the harpies it almost is like some kind of weird karmic joke that somehow Thaedry seems to have manifested mild traits of what the harpy might have looked like had it approached the firelight. And you can see bird eyes, the feather crests off the side of the hair, and the long fingernails. And Thaedry, you have no idea. You just feel a bit of the pain as you're just...
Sylvain will kind of like shoot a quick glance over to Gordon and Jakob. And look at Thaedry, and she'll take her hand and kind of like push their hair back a little bit.
The feathers are fine and silky as you run your hands across them, but they are growing out of Thaedry's flesh. They are part of them.
Gordon is kneeled by the fire and just kind of awestruck.
Everyone's staring at you.
Oh yeah. Like Jakob hasn't blinked. Just wide-eyed, mouth open, like,
I'm sorry. They fled on their own. I didn't.
Sylvain will reach over to where she dropped her sword and kind of run it across her sleeve so that it's polished.
Okay.
And hold it up to, well, first she'll say, now I don't want you to get upset because personally, I think it's very cool. But you probably want to know why we're looking at you. So, she'll lift up her sword. She's got a long sword, so it's, not tiny. And so she'll lift it up just so Thaedry can catch kind of a reflection.
It's impossible to miss the orange eyes. Even in the firelight, you spot them immediately. These like almost ember-colored orbs that are staring back at you. And when you gasp, you feel your nails against your skin and the difference in texture of your hand as you look down and see that you have transformed somewhat. You feel the feathers. They are intermingled with your hair, going back, clearly grown from your scalp. But they're mixing in with your hair in general.
Flux and blood. I reactively rip some of the feathers away and start bleeding.
Take a point of strength damage.
Yep. Cool. Does that break? No, I'm not quite broken.
It is a violent thing to see because when Thaedry does this, there is immediately blood.
Gordon, like Sylvain will grab one of her or one of their hands and kind of motion for Gordon to come over and get the other hand. Because we're the two strongest people, so.
Thaedry, you start trying to pull the feathers from you, and immediately Sylvain grabs your hand with this sort of look of alarm on their face, followed immediately by Gordon, who seizes your other hand to try to calm you down as you're pulling at the feathers. You just
Gordon actually will like scoop an arm over their arms to like pin their arms to their body and just kind of hold them to their chest and say, "It's all right. Hey, it's all right. It's all right.
Get off me.
No.
It's all right. It's a good look for you. We still know who you are inside."
All right. Lovely. Just
Hey, ripping him out is just hurting yourself more. You don't deserve that.
perhaps I can decide that for myself.
We can't let you
Thank
hurt
you.
yourself, though, if we have the power to stop it. I'm sorry.
Off. Please.
You gonna stop pulling
Now.
him out? Are you gonna stop pulling him out?
That is for me to have on my fluxing face and not you. I'm going to make a futile strength check because
Yeah.
this would be a
it
contested
goes
roll then.
nowhere.
Contested roll with
No,
Gordon.
it goes nowhere. There's no
Okay.
need. I don't have to do
Okay.
it.
There's no contest.
Thaedry just with rage is flailing against you, Gordon.
It's all right. It's all right.
No, it's not. It doesn't have to be. It isn't. and I'm going to have a feeling about it, and if I were not to be encompassed thus, I might find myself cooling off just a touch more. Please, just get...
If Gordon lets them go,
Mm-hmm.
or when Gordon eventually lets them go, Sylvain will actually reach out both her hands and just hold on to, like, not roughly, just hold on to Thaydree's hands. Like,
Okay.
really gently for Sylvain.
Gordon releases the hug and just brings his hands to like their shoulders, just kind of reassuringly holding their
Okay.
shoulders.
I have
Okay.
that very stiff body language of like, oh, please, people are affectioning on me, and all I want is space. Sort of like, if I'm still, maybe they stop.
Your head has that really unfortunate, like, stinging sensation, like it might if somebody tore hair out. You can kind of feel it as you're finally just calming down a little bit, but the rage is still there, Thaydree, as they slowly let go.
In the background, I'm just making a pot of tea.
Okay.
Maybe like, I don't know, something herbal, lots of leaf leaves, maybe a couple of twigs I picked up from the ground. It'll make it nice and earthy.
Mm-hmm. You're like, this one
I don't know
looks
why that image makes me giggle.
Break it off
You're like,
some twigs.
good.
Oh,
that
branch.
was probably green at one point. I'll put that in there.
Yeah.
Are you... If we let go, will you promise not to hurt yourself? You can hurt me if you want. I can take it.
Why would I want that?
Well, because you're angry. I know when I get angry, I want to hit things.
So you became a hitting things person. I did magic, and
Well, that's why I said you're
magic
not going to
does
be able
this
to
back.
hurt me much, you know, so you can hit me if you want.
Gordon
Yeah.
senses that at least they're distracted now, maybe by being mad at us, and so Gordon steps back and
Okay.
removes his hands from their shoulder. And I think actually Gordon is gonna put some distance now and kind of slink away, maybe go over to help, or just like see what Jakob is doing.
Okay.
Sylvain's just staring at them. Oh, am I supposed to be scared?
I don't know. You're staring.
Well, because you look really cool. And she'll just kind of reach up and touch the side of their face.
Oh,
Oh, don't be a baby.
go flex yourself. I'm going to sleep.
Adrian's-
I hate magic.
I mean, Sylvain would let them lay back and attempt to sleep if possible, but I'm going to watch them. I think we're all going to watch them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I think I
Flux.
could
So
use,
then
like,
they
a little
have
bit
to
of
do
sleep.
that terrible silent cry because
I'm
people are
sitting,
paying
like-
attention, so you don't get to
Like
do it out
6
loud.
inches away from you. But you,
Yeah.
I will give you the pride of crying without mentioning it.
Thaydree, go ahead and gain an XP right now for suffering your dark secret.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. Feels Batman.jpg.
Man, the mishap.
But let's be honest, you probably look really cool.
Yeah, I mean, your eye size
Oh,
hasn't changed
Sam
at all.
thinks it's dope as heck.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
Your eye size hasn't changed at all, though the pupil, the iris, that has changed. That is just a pool of black being surrounded by a halo of like sunlight. It just looks like brilliant orange with a black center, and it is clearly inhuman looking. So how people of Seven Raven and their great wisdom are going to treat you, who knows? People of Seven Raven are pretty different than the rest of the Forbidden Lands. People of Seven Raven are used to seeing things that normal people don't see and used to being okay with that, not being spooked by it. But Phaedra, you've seen this happen before with magic, and there's a quiet voice inside of you that is aware that you got off light compared to what you've seen sorcery do to people when it decides to remake them. And sometimes it's not good.
Well, if it had happened from the hot air balloon, I would have felt truly stupid.
Was that out loud?
Sure. Why not?
Between like the quivering breath of quietly crying, you just saying your thoughts out loud.
Yeah, so Sylvain has their hand, and I hope this comes across properly. They're doing the thing where they've got your hand and just kind of doing the thumb thing across your hand. Well, at least now I know why you didn't want to use it to do my laundry.
You really didn't get that until now. You sweet, strong person.
She would laugh.
With great effort. Person.
I mean, I'll take it. It's the closest I've ever gotten to a compliment from you.
Oh, shut up. You know I respect your work, if not your approach to hygiene. And this is facing away, just letting the arm be held and not looking at you while I say it.
GM, did you see the message I sent you?
Looking now. Unfortunately, our Discord channel doesn't ping me when I'm getting the private messages. Yeah, that's. Let me. Just give me a second while I read the player message here.
If you think about it.
Ooh, hold on. Give me 1 second. That's an interesting point. That was an interesting point. Ooh, that's an interesting point.
You can think about it, and
yeah, let's think about it, because we're about to go on our break anyway. So this is a good opportunity, really, because the next half of the game is going to be our scout coming back to report what they've seen, and then we get into it. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and do it now? We're 5 minutes away anyway. So let's go ahead and just take our 10-minute break and refreshen ourselves, get a drink, and get ready for what's coming next, because it's going to be fight night here on Q Times here in the Ravenlands. Seven Raven, there's some bloodletting coming. There is a particular trader that has a group of Miststalkers hunting them down, and it's not going to go well for somebody. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Welcome back to Ravenland. Today, we are going on a quest for vengeance. However, before that happens, we have to finish Watch, because that was only the first quarter of the evening when the Harpy attack happened. So everyone drifting back to sleep. Jakob, by the way, nicely done spotting that happening. Good time to make your scouting check successfully. Let's go ahead and set up second watch. So who is going to be taking second watch?
I don't think Phaedra probably should at this point.
Probably
Phaedra didn't get sleep, right?
Probably needs to.
No.
Yeah.
Is any of us counted as getting sleep this quarter? Like if we fight and then go back to sleep?
No, technically, if you were woken up during if you have an encounter during camp night, you lose that quarter night's sleep.
So any of us will take sleepy.
Everyone. So yeah.
Whoever takes the watch would gain sleepy, which is not great going into this because you can't recover wits.
But question, because Phaedra, you have the most potential for wits refilling.
Yeah, I do. If we don't get to have rested, I
think you should sleep.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to sleep. I hate magic.
I wouldn't mind taking watch.
Okay.
I trust Gordon with watch.
All right, Gordon, you're going to stay up.
Famous last word. I trust Gordon with watch.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
Second. Okay, so Gordon's going to stay and take watch. That's teamwork. That's fucking
That's
teamwork.
damn it.
I beat into it. It's only because I was saying it first. So all right. So let's see. I'm just gonna double check that, make sure this is correct.
Mind bullets.
Okay. During journeys, the adventurer who keeps watch makes a scouting roll. Yep. I'm just double checking to make sure this is correct. Successfully means that you look out, spotted the threat, can then decide how to show themselves. Oh, fascinating. I haven't implemented this rule, but check this out. This is interesting. If you make your scouting check, according to the rules, if you make your scouting check, success usually means that the lookout notices the threat while it's still at a safe distance. The adventurers can then decide whether to show themselves, to set up an ambush, or to sneak away undetected. Failing the scouting roll means the threat is up close and personal before you have a chance to do anything about it. So it doesn't necessarily mean intrinsically that you are being attacked. So moving forward, well, here, how about this? I'll do a GM's compromise. Since that is rules as written, I will let you all get back to, I'll let you guys have that quarter night's sleep then, so that no one's punished for having to keep watch. And so in the future, I'll remember to implement that rule, and that'll be sort of my compromise on that.
Okay. Thank you.
So in which case, Jakob, you're able to finish the watch while everyone else goes back to sleep and finds it takes you a little while. Takes you a little while to sort of let the adrenaline die down and to settle in. You know, you trust Jakob now. Obviously, those sharp eyes in the middle of the night can spot that kind of thing. Phaedra, it's a little harder for you. You're in a lot of discomfort right now, obviously. Your features, your fingers, everything else, the pain from the transformation has passed, and the pain from the sorcery has passed. The pain from you tearing feathers out, not so much, but thankfully you have someone taking care of you right now. And whether you like it or not, Phaedra, you have found some soothing nature in that and have drifted off to sleep. Your watch goes by quietly for the rest of your shift, Jakob. You sit on the rock and looking around, keeping your eyes in the sky to see if you spot any more of that coming around, and nothing. But you do towards the end of your watch, as you're getting down, you can see where the moon is at in the sky, and as you hop down to move over to Gordon, who is going to be taking second watch, you hear the approach of somebody in the shadows. They're on you pretty fast, so you're a little alarmed when you turn and you look and you see Cag coming up the hill, with his hand up, trying to get your attention to signal that it's him. And he enters the camp, the firelight. He looks pretty winded as he comes up, and he goes, but he's very quiet as he looks around and sees everyone sleeping. He just nods to you, and he puts the pack down and just takes a moment and pulls out his water, takes a drink, and looks at you and just,
well,
okay. Everything good?
We got attacked by harpies, but Tadri just destroyed them. Well, they lived and they ran away, but it was basically a win. If you see their face, hold on, very important. If you see their face, do not comment. Just don't say anything.
Furrows his brow as he looks at you for a moment and says, all right, good advice, I guess.
Yep, if you want to be a misstalker, this is something you have to understand. But tell me about your trip. How did it go?
I'll save it for the morning when everyone's awake, but I found them. They didn't spot me. No one followed me. But they are there. He nods to you. They are definitely there. And he lays down on the ground and immediately just kind of gets situated and just, all right, and closes his eyes. And in a remarkable amount of time, Jakob, you just hear.
Bonne nuit.
Gordon, your eyes open as you see Jakob is just waking you up with a gentle shake. Judging from the look in Jakob's eyes, no danger.
Morning.
Good midnight? Yeah, sure.
Seems like everything's calm and quiet.
Cag came back.
You see the hunters over there sleeping next to the fire, using his pack as a pillow, and is fast asleep in the dirt.
Nothing to be alarmed about, but they are all there. So it is on tomorrow.
All right, great.
Also, can I sleep in your bag? I don't really bring my own.
Oh yeah.
Hot bunking.
Go for it.
Okay, it is warm.
all right.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
All
already
right.
warmed up for you. Enjoy.
Okay, so Gordon, go ahead and make me a scouting. Actually, let me roll in the encounters table first. I should roll in the encounters tables first, because then if I ask you to make a scouting check, you'll know whether or not you need to push it.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Um,
I forgot that I didn't take any scouting, but I have all my wits, so it won't be awful.
okay,
Okay.
let's hope you all have some luck. It is a quiet evening for the rest of the night.
Huh. Do I still roll? I still roll, right?
No, you don't have to roll scouting.
Oh,
I'm going to start moving forward. I'm going to start calling for scouting checks if there's something to spot.
Okay, cool.
So you have a nice quiet watch, Gordon. The party is. Let me ask you this: what does Gordon see with? Where is Thaydre and where is Sylvain? Like, y'all are right next to the campsite, correct?
Are you asking Gordon?
I'm asking you two.
you
Where
asking
is Thaydre and
us?
Sylvain? Like, because Gordon, as you wake up, the party is all fast asleep at this point.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to get a sense of, because I'm trying to give Gordon some insight into party dynamics that are taking place right now, because you were taking care of Thaydre. So what does Gordon
What does
see?
he see?
Yes.
Well, Sylvain hasn't moved.
Okay.
So
like,
Sylvain's still sitting there. Sylvain has fallen asleep holding Thaydre's hand,
protectively, yeah.
like sitting up against the rock wall. Like,
okay. Yeah.
not
Very
comfortable, but sleeping.
Yeah.
And Thaydre's
protected
faced away from Sylvain, and their arm is in her lap, but it's a little crooked, so like the arm rests along the thigh and the hand is sort of over and actually holding, not just idly, or that Sylvain has the entirety of the grip.
Gordon, without making an insight check, it's just a lot of effort to go through to not lose contact. I think that's what you would basically observe. You also observe that laying there next to the fire is, sure enough, Cag, who is just fast asleep, like he was here the whole fucking time. For the way for as comfortably as this hunter is sleeping, he could have been here during the harpy attack and have not woken up. And you just like he is just out.
Good for him.
And the night passes. When the sun begins to rise, the skies start to turn hot pinks and oranges, and finally the golds. As the clouds begin to reflect the sunlight as it begins to peak. You can hear the birds. Everyone starts to slowly come about and wake up in the morning. Each of you, as you wake up, do notice that you are +1 party member again. Cag is just still sleeping in the exact same position, as he hasn't tossed or turned at all. He is like tightly holding himself together with his arms folded and his legs crossed, and is sleeping still. He has a heavy crossbow that is laying next to him.
Sylvain entertains the idea of seeing how quick he can shoot it, but thinks that's a bad idea.
I will tell you this: the most magical thing you will ever see in Dungeons and Dragons is explaining how Fast Shooter lets you shoot multiple attacks with a heavy crossbow. I'm more bewildered by that than I am power word kill. I'm just like, wait, what? Oh, okay, whatever. It's PFM, pure fucking magic. All right. So, however, in Forbidden Lands can't do that so much. So, yeah, it is worth it. You don't know how fast he is, Sylvain, but he does have it next to him, and it does not have a bolt in it. So.
All right, so
stands up
Sylvain
and stretches. Good morning, everyone.
Nothing else fancy?
Yeah, nothing else. No more hobbies. Nothing, actually. It's very quiet, very peaceful. I had a lot of time to think about all the secrets people have told me over the years.
Oh, do you have any secrets?
Sylvain just kind of goes.
And Gordon
I
will
remember she was drunk.
Yeah, Sylvain's like, shit, what did I tell him? Like,
Gordon actually does look at all of you, and especially Sylvain,
Sylvain does the thing where she suddenly realizes she's still holding Thadra's hand, and she like drops it real quick and gets up and goes to Gorge. We bonded. You can't use anything I said against me. I was.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Your mother's drink is very strong. Her spit is very, very powerful.
Very fermentatious. I know.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sorry. When I have some quiet time to myself, I just think about the secrets. I'm actually very, very good at keeping people's secrets.
I know, I trust you.
The best. I'm the best at keeping secrets. So you have nothing to worry about.
If this was shot like a series, the camera would have immediately just gone to Jakob, who was just the reactions of like Jakob in the middle, just your mother spit. He just kind of immediately reacts like
okay. That choice.
Okay. I mean, I trust you. I trust you. I just it's not as easy to, be me when I've been drinking, and it's,
You can't hold it all in forever, Sylvain. It's all right to confide in someone.
I could also just go punch a tree.
Well, yeah, you can always just have it out on some physical object. That's healthy, I think.
It's better than doing it to a person, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, unless it's Merrick.
Well, actually, speaking of, we have some revenge to do today. Yeah.
I am ready for some revenge.
But after
I've been
breakfast.
thinking about so many ways
sits
to
up at
kill
that
him.
point.
Briefing. Our friends came back from their dangerous mission. We can talk over tea, some ginger tea.
Yes, everybody roll your rations.
Hey.
You're going to want to do that now. So open up your rations check and roll water and food. If you would, please.
Anything over 2 is okay.
Yeah, you want 2 or higher. Otherwise, you drop a die.
Now, you gave us a D10 each initially, right? So if we haven't had to decrease anything, then we should still be at that, right?
You should. If you haven't rolled a 1 or a 2, you should be fine.
All right.
Let's see. Oh, he went down. Okay, so
I'm okay.
Cag is going to devour. He's down. He goes down to a D8 on his rations, so he's still fine, but he starts running a little bit lower.
And we have plenty.
I'm muted, but yes, I dropped a die in food.
I also did.
I got a 7 and a 9.
Okay.
So I'm good.
Cool. Y'all are fine then.
Mm-hmm.
So as the campfire crackles and more wood gets added to it, a lot of you break out your rations and start drinking some water and having your breakfast. And as soon as he's done eating, Cag starts stuffing some tobacco into his pipe and goes, okay, here's what I found. Definitely spotted the Rust Brotherhood. And there was one of them that seemed to be an authority figure. It wasn't as many as I thought there would be, but there were still plenty of them. I counted 3 what looked like, I don't know, underlings, I guess. They didn't seem quite as ceremonial as the larger one. Larger one had rusted chains wrapping around his chest, dark brown robes. Only saw him briefly, but the others seemed to treat him with great deference. I think I saw your friend too. There was a human there, about 6'3", I guess, 6'2", maybe, wearing dark black leathers, had a sword and shield.
How did he look?
Alive, which is probably unfortunate, but we can fix that.
He says, yeah, he looked alive. It looked like he had... I'm going to have Cag make an insight roll and see how he interpreted what he saw. I roll no successes, and I'm not going to push it because it's the start of the day. Cag wants to be fresh. Cag goes, I don't know what it was, but something was weird about him.
What
Anyway,
else did you see?
well, it doesn't look like they're expecting anybody to come looking for them. They're pretty spread out, but a total with the 3 underlings that I saw, the leader, there's 5 of them.
That is not bad. We can face 5.
That's doable.
If we get a drop on them, yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult, but I don't know anything about what they're capable of. So
I find that most people aren't capable of resisting stabbing.
including me.
Well, I haven't tried to stab you.
They might.
Don't get stabbed.
Yeah, don't get stabbed.
Anybody have a journal I can write that in so I don't forget?
We
I'm
can
using
tattoo
it.
it on you if you want.
Yeah, that sounds great. He takes a long puff off the pipe.
Right.
I don't know what they're doing there. I couldn't figure it out, but they seem pretty interested in the ruins. I don't think they're just using it because it's a safe spot. I think they have an interest there. It looks like they've been there for a while. I didn't see just campfires. I saw them. I don't know how else to put this. They looked like they were residents. They didn't look like they were stopping for the night.
Oh.
Hmm.
Do we know anything about those runes?
You can roll lore.
Yeah.
I would like
Hmm.
to.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a lore check.
Roll my 0.
I'm good at lore. 1
I'm not.
success.
It's my roll. Hopefully.
How much did you roll?
I got 1 success.
1 success? How about you, Thadri?
They thinking.
Also 1.
I rolled 0. I never rolled lore, but this time I did, and I got 0.
0.
Hundreds of years ago, the dwarves of Whaler's Hold, members of one of the clans, had seen Alderland coming, but left them alone in hopes that the different human factions would end up killing each other without interference of the dwarves. Instead, the Aelander farmers fled further into the land to escape their oppressors, and new villages and settlements were built in the forests. Aisling lords courted the dwarves. It is a dwarven stronghold, an old dwarven stronghold. The dwarves gave them clan-forged blades and advice, but essentially, yeah. Okay, so the summary of what I'm reading to you is this. Whaler's Hold used to be a stronghold of one of the great dwarven clans. The details are fuzzy, but during the great wars that were waged here across Ravenland, when Alderlanders started basically storming into Ravenland to raid it for resources and conquest, that all came crashing to an end when, of course, the sorcerer Zygofer decided he was going to be lord of every damn thing and unleashed demons against everybody to take over Ravenland. The dwarves of Whaler's Hold were trying to stay out of it. But war came knocking in the form of the Rust Church. This place is sort of a large graveyard of what is left of a old dwarven city. It's fuzzy of how it happened, but the Rust Brotherhood had a lot to do, or had something to do, with the fall of this city. And so it does kind of dazzle the imagination to think as to why 300 years later, now having access to travel, why they're back here again. And what could this city possibly do for them, if not just be a ground for who knows what lurks inside this city.
The city was a great dwarven stronghold, and it has so much history, so much experience that I cannot imagine what the Rust Brotherhood is doing here.
Well, we could go ask them.
Ask, kill. Say how they seem sometimes.
Come see, come ça.
Not exactly.
Wait. How many Ross brothers are there, like, all over the world? Do we know that? Anyone know that?
We
Cad
don't
speaks
exactly
up
have
and
a
says,
census.
yeah, what Phaedra said. Humans that subscribe to the teachings of the Rust Brotherhood, they could be anywhere.
So I'm thinking maybe before we kill them, we find out where the others are. Because if there's a lot of other Ross brothers with bad motives and intentions, and they're out there, and we just kill these 5, then the others are out there still.
If I could perhaps present a counter offer.
Mm-hmm.
It is easier to leave one alive to question than to try to question 5 and give up the element of surprise.
Yeah, so we kill 4, keep 1, ask it questions, and then kill it?
Kill
It seems
3,
agreeable to me.
keep 2. We're going to keep the big guy.
Yes, with the chains,
And
the scary
then,
one.
yes, and then we're going to keep Merrick.
Merrick.
Let's not be cruel about it.
Mm.
It debases our own selves, and evil is not worth that.
We are not monsters.
You're not a monster.
Well, I'm a goblin.
Shut up.
I'm perfectly happy to be a monster if it means I get to take my time.
Ooh, things are getting 10 seconds. Yeah, that's between you two.
But, you know, if someone stabs him first, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm just going to kick him while he's down.
All I need to know from Merrick is why he did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need to know.
Well, that's why we still kind of have to be able to talk to him afterwards.
Real quick point of note, just to add on to what you would have gotten from that role from lore. Whaler's Hold used to also be, it's a mining town. It's at the base of the mountains that the dwarves used to hunt. The dwarves ended up abandoning it, and Zygofer moved his forces into that city ages ago. It is assumed to be completely abandoned now, but it is worth noting that it has a history, and it's why no one goes around it.
And it's got underground parts, not just the overground parts.
That's right.
This
Mining.
does provide some perhaps valuable context. We found Merrick, now in association with the Rust Brotherhood, previously in association with the Manticore, a demon. The Rust Brotherhood, locally at least, seemed headquartered at Whaler's Hold, previous residence of Zygofer, a sorcerer notorious for consorting with
Demons.
We should perhaps be prepared for the possibility that there might be.
Demons.
As if from my own lips.
Cag looks kind of like alarmed by that. Says, wow.
Oh, don't be too scared. We killed a manticore and it didn't even get to bite us once.
Scared. That when we get into a fight, I'll probably be scared. But right now, my thought process is this is more than an audition now.
Yeah, speaking on that, you on the way here, you asked you wanted to ask us some questions about monster hunting?
Yeah. Maybe not the time to do it, but yeah.
Okay. Well, remember to ask them before we're fighting the monsters. Because these people are monsters, just so you know.
I have no problems killing Brotherhood members. The Rust Brotherhood, they do heinous things to people in Ravenland.
Yeah.
To their own kind and to my kind. And anybody's holing up in a dwarven city and using it so they can consort with demons, they're going to get a crossbow bolt to the head as far as I'm concerned.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. You have
yeah, I think
your
like
mind's in
maybe
the right
last
place.
night. Yeah, maybe last night was the audition because you managed to like do all that without getting seen or caught or killed.
Yeah.
You know, just saying. I'm not an authority here. You can't go by what I say.
We don't really have a leader anymore.
Yeah.
We have a what is Kim's title?
Steward.
Steward.
Steward. We have a steward, so good bookkeeping.
Somebody
He will
watching the
admit
house
to
while
his
you're gone.
leadership eventually. Don't worry.
Yes. We'll work on it. But now, I think while the day is young, if they've been up all night, we're going to go kill us some monsters.
Yes.
Okay.
Fights.
You all see
Let's-
Gordon kind of like rub his paws together and just you see that thrill of the hunt that's starting to come over him.
I'm totally picturing Blaine from Predator picking up the big gun, going payback time, just like.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Do you got any of your mom's drink?
I did slip some into my pack.
Oh boy.
I mean, I'm just saying. Should we
I
go
go
for
over-
celebratory or preparatory?
Should we take wits damage before a fight?
Good question. All good questions.
I know, right? Maybe celebratory.
Celebratory, yeah. Oh, I've got it for after.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
because we're going to get Jakob and Kag and Phaedry to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, her mom's got top-notch spit, I'm telling you.
His mom. I'm a boy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm a little tired. I apologize.
That's okay.
It's all right.
You did fight
Like 3 hours
harpies
ahead
after
of us.
all.
It's no big deal.
I did fight harpies. Well, I didn't fight harpies. You fought harpies. You just
We all stood around. I
Yeah, we
spotted
just-
them.
We saw
Let's go
harpies.
forth
I saw them.
and engage Kag's call back, shall we? Let's go.
Mm. Also, Kag is getting top points from Sylvain for not reacting at all to Phaedry's appearance. So
Yeah.
He has not shown any immediate reactions at all.
good.
He
If
took a moment to
Jacob
absorb
could,
it, and
like,
then he just continued packing his pack and finishing what water
Yes.
ration he had, and then started listening to what y'all had to say about this one person in particular who he kind of got a weird vibe from, that you were saying, oh yeah, no, that's the guy who's gonna die. That's the one that we want. So he just listens intently and is keeping quiet, absorbing who it is that y'all are prioritizing.
If I ever do meet his eyes, though, Jakob would like to give the head nod for thankfully respecting his wishes.
I just out of curiosity, just out of sheer curiosity, I want to know if Kag does he understand 2 successes? He knows exactly why you're giving him the head nod, so he just nods back.
Jakob feels extra cool about it.
Yeah.
Okay, we are packed. I've got all my things. Are we
Okay.
ready to fight?
Yes, armor on, pack on,
Yep.
sword,
Everybody
everything.
tightens up, leather armor, checks their grimoires. Everyone makes sure that swords are ready. Cag counts the bolts in the quiver, makes sure that everything's good to go, checks the strings, and you all set off. Let's bring up the map. All right. This is taking us right into Whaler's Hold. So we do have to make a lead the way roll, but you'll be happy to know that there will not be we do not have to have an encounters check here since y'all are literally heading into the encounter. So what we do need to do is I need to have Kag make a lead the way check here as he takes point to try to, oh, you know what? He doesn't have to lead the way because he's been in that hex. He scored it last night, so he does not have to make a lead the way check, which means you, for free, you get to move into that hex for that quarter day, despite the fact that it was heavy terrain, because Kag went ahead and scouted ahead and successfully stealthed his way into it and scouted. So handy, most handy, no roll required. So late morning, you all find yourselves in the shadow of this mountain range looming overhead. An ancient mountain range that's stood here since the time of the gods. The city of Whaler's Hold is equally ancient and one of the first dwarven cities that was here, located in the heart of Ravenland. And it creeps each one of you out upon sight of it. What you see is an ancient city of spectacular stone in complete disarray, very similar to well, really, I could name any sort of fantasy city that is in the middle of falling apart after lack of hundreds of years of use. From your vantage points as you are approaching, you can't see any obvious signs of habitation. You also don't notice any animal life around the city. Without making any rolls, I'll tell you right now, it is the birds and the sounds of late fall have grown quiet as you approach, as you grow closer and closer to Whaler's Hold. And it does give you all a sense of foreboding. Even the only noises you hear are the winds just blowing across the grassy plains and whistling through the rocky crags that are all around you. As you come to the outskirts of the city, there's this growing sense of nervousness, not knowing exactly where to go or hide or who to look out for. I mean, this is urban terrain now. You're not out in the open, and there aren't exactly easy spots. Now you're relying upon hearing, and you're relying upon your guide to guide you into the areas of which he spotted them. Cag does inform you as you were all entering the city. At one point, he's looking back and he says, I didn't get too far in the city. Like I said, I wasn't going to engage, but I'll take you to where I spotted everybody and we'll see if they're still there. Everyone take your time and move slow. He says this specifically because in Forbidden Lands, stealth checks by the party, you are only as quiet as your loudest person, which means your loudest person is rolling stealth for the group. So whoever has the lowest stealth check has to make the stealth roll for the group. Now, I am going to add an addendum to this. You do have a guide that has been here, and he is going to be able to assist. He's guiding you over places he knows there's loose rock, so you don't step on anything that moves. And he is guiding you through areas where there's a little more shadow. So, Phaedry, since I'm guessing you're the one with the lowest stealth check, the lowest agility and the lowest stealth skill.
Can no one beat it too? I mean, you can't beat, but I suppose you could theoretically be equal. But no, the lowest attribute can possibly go and no points in the skill. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if we're counting agility, I have 3. So.
Yeah, now I'm still worse than you.
So you gain a +1 die because you are receiving assistance.
All 3 dice. All right. Well,
3 powerful dice.
3 dice. Powerful. Let's find out.
Okay. How sneaky. Debating on the push.
Yep.
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah.
How about I do this? Let me roll. Let me roll first. Because if you're trying to stealth and not get his notice, it is a contested roll.
Yep.
So let me roll first. And I'll tell you if it's worth. Yeah, you're going to want to push.
Okay.
If you don't want to get spotted, you're going to want to push.
Okay.
Well,
they're just hateful checks. They're just hateful. And so is that agility damage that I took, and it's just
how many points of agility damage you take?
Just the 1, but that's fluxing enough.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? You know fluxing.
You're doing it?
What, Eric C. Campbell?
Are you doing it?
We have a story point.
We have a story point. You get to pull a D10 artifact die.
We all get willpower.
Thank you.
Everyone gains a point of willpower.
Story point.
We activate. Phaedry is going to activate the story point and roll a D10 on this check to try to redo what's just happened. And that is coming from Vance.
So I think I step on a wobbly rock, and this die determines 8.
If you've
That's 2 successes.
You got an 8? Oh my. Okay. That is 2 successes. All right. You beat him by 1.
Yeah. Vance, you did it. You did it. You did it. I could not have done it. You did. Thank you.
Vance.
You beat him by 1.
Damn.
You needed 2 successes.
Damn.
I didn't think that was going to be happening. So what happens is, Phaedra, if you would like to please describe, you step on a loose rock and start to tumble. How do you recover? Give me a cinematic moment. What happens when Phaedra steps on that loose rock? Where do those 2 successes come from?
Phaedra looks up, meets eyes with Jakob, and there's this brief moment of panic in their eye as the rock begins to slip from under them, and they know they're about to slide halfway down this gravelly hill. Look into his eyes, and just a little over his shoulder at the bit of loot on his back. And of all of the bizarre associations, they think dance. They pirouette back into it, get their other foot onto a more stable rock, complete the turn to use their momentum, and spin and face him again.
Cag freezes and stares at you, wondering why there was a performance just now, like kind of stops and looks at everybody, and then just without actually making any noise, just goes,
That's the right thing to do. You applaud.
Ravenland's tiniest curtsy.
you move around the corner, uncertain as to what spawned that, but you quietly move into the sort of the what looks like may have functioned as some sort of large area to congregate, perhaps an ancient market. Hard to say. It is worth noting, though, that all of you are seeing some of the ancient stonework for the first time. Remember, none of you have been to Whaler's Hold before. This place is over a day's journey away from Seven Raven, and that is a dangerous journey to make when the Blood Mist was up and about. You all grew up with the Blood Mist, knowing nothing else. Being here in Whaler's Hold, you were seeing ancient dwarven architecture, ancient dwarven art, it's very much like going through the ruins of perhaps ancient Athens in that regard, but not like present day, maybe like 300 years after Athens fell. So you're still seeing some of the beautiful like colorations and art and sculpture that hasn't been eroded by time, but has been grown over or has crumbled because of catastrophe. The work here is sturdy and exquisite, some of the houses and whatnot, but the rubble seems to suggest that something terrible happened here at some point. And you also note, without having to make lore checks, being mist stalkers, you can see what looks like signs of ancient scoring all over some of the rock face, signs of fire. Perhaps there was a citywide fire. It's hard to say. Maybe there was a battle here. This could be damage from siege weapons. It's entirely possible. All Ravenland back then was just a place of warfare and suffering. And the dwarves made a stand here to try to repel Zygopher's armies. Suffice to say, though, for all of what is happening around him, Cag doesn't seem to be absorbed in what he is walking through. And instead, he's just keeping an eye out and like glancing around in corners and doors. That's how they get you. He's just checking in, looking around. I will drop Miller quotes whenever I can. He looks around and signals to everybody. You all move across the street. The sun is still somewhat low in the sky. It's sort of like early morning still, but it's a partially cloudy day. So there's enough shadow being cast around here where he is sticking to the walls. It doesn't take too much longer before you're walking through these broken streets before you start hearing the sounds of chains and conversation, the distinct sounds of like metal clinking and people talking. As you approach what looks like sort of, it looks like half of a wall. One of those walls that you would see before maybe going down a ramp or a staircase to your left or something. It's one of those things that kind of ushers in a decline. As you move towards it, you do and see it looks like this very well-crafted ramp that kind of winds down into what looks like what may have at some point been an amphitheater of some kind, or a place for performance, judging for the way the seats are arranged, the metal seats, very much like the Acropolis almost. So you see like these rows of seats going up, but crumbled stone everywhere. And in the middle of this, undetected, you guys crouch low and see that indeed, Jakob, you spot the very familiar sight of a man in dark rust-colored robes that is wrapped in rusted chains around his chest, row after row after row, with multiple locks, like big, heavy, rusted locks. And there are three, hard to see who they are, but they are very varying and what looks like cultural distinction, humans in various states of prostration in front of this guy, like holding their hands and almost like they're praying in front of him as he stands there with his hands open. And he is uttering to them. About 15 feet away, you see your mark. 15 feet aside from him, flanking him to the far left and observing this, standing still with his arms crossed, you see Merrick. I need everyone to make insight checks.
All right. Nothing.
Tell me what you get. We can go off the map now. One success? Was that one success, Sylvain? Sylvain got one success?
2 from Thaydri.
2 from Thaydri. Okay.
I got no successes, 1 Bane, and I'm not going to push it.
Okay, yeah, it's a good time to save it. How'd you do, Jakob?
Same. No successes, a Bane.
Okay.
I'm not gonna push it.
So Gordon and Jakob, y'all are watching this like, what the hell? But Jakob, for you, this is a very similar scene because this person, whoever this is with the hooded robed up and whatnot, people like to kneel in front of this guy. Yeah. And you're seeing 3 more of them doing it again. And it looks like they're just kind of prostrating, like treating him with reverence. And you do see Merrick, and he looks pretty much like the way you saw him before, slightly different, but can't quite put it. He is indeed 6'2". He is covered in studded leather armor. He has what looks like a very fine shield and a broadsword at his side. I will tell all of you, you know him well enough. Merrick is an expert sword fighter, sword and shield fighter. He is a dangerous opponent with sword and shield. He has both of his weapons on him, and he is standing there with his arms crossed watching all of this. His skin looks a little paler than usual, which is where we're going to get into the insight check. 2 things for those of you who succeeded. So Sylvain, you succeeded, and Thaydri, you did. Merrick does not look like himself. Something is definitely different about him. If you didn't know you were looking at who was supposed to be Merrick, you may not guess that it was Merrick. His eyes, the way his face looks a little gaunt, he looks haggard and exhausted. There are lines on his face that you didn't see before. And if you weren't certain, you might think his hair has changed color, like a slight lighter color. But that's not as telling as the fact that his eyes look a different shade. This doesn't look like Merrick, but it's Merrick. And Thaydri, being a spellcaster, the next piece of information is you definitely feel the presence of sorcery on that man in the hooded robe. And it is potent. All of your lessons that you learned from the Raven sisters start flooding back into your head. The signs of warning that the true brotherhood, the true brothers of the Rust Brotherhood could wield sorcery, and many of them were practiced in it. It's many of them, that is how they took the Raven sisters by surprise when the great purges began to happen. The Raven sisters, who were seers and healers, were not prepared for the blood magic that was wielded against them, where they were not prepared for the magic that the Rust Brotherhood brought to bear when they sought to burn them all at the stake. This person, whoever it is that's standing before the 3 that are prostrated, has the touch of sorcery on them. And you also sense, you can't put what it is, but something is definitely off with Merrick. Sylvain, you get the impression too that something is definitely sideways about Merrick. It's not what you expected to see. And you kind of get this sense of this is what Cag was talking about. The scene is yours. What do you do, Miss Stalkers?
Where Merrick is standing, is he standing with his back to any open place or any of them? Like, what's the layout that we're working with?
There is an open place. Behind Merrick is the rest of this, the rest of what would be, he's sort of stage left.
Okay.
So back, he's back, is facing, it's facing away. This is obviously a stage that doesn't have any sort of backstage. So it's just, he's facing left. If you were to go around, you could get behind him, but that is going to be a tricky thing to do, but you could do it. His back is turned. He is technically right now, he is facing in-ish the same direction as he would be facing if he looked at all of you, but he doesn't see you because you're all on an incline behind a wall. They are down below about 45 feet away and gathered around. Yeah.
Did we enter from behind, like where?
You are behind the Rust Brother, and you are, so the Rust Brother has his back to all of you, and the 3 alkalites are in front of him kneeling.
And then Merrick is stage left of the Rust Brother.
To the left, I should say. So if the Rust Brother is standing in front of the alkalites, whose back is turned to you, Merrick is probably about 40 feet away to that man's left.
Right. Okay. Got it.
So he is also to your left.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get hung up on the feet. I would say let's go by range increments.
I could hit them without hitting him.
Right. Merrick right now is would be considered long range. The others would be considered short range. And on that note, as y'all are kind of gauging the situation, very so softly and stealthily, you can hear Cag cranking and pulling back the bow string on the heavy crossbow.
Sylvain will kind of, because she's quite tall compared to Cag, I believe. She'll kind of kneel just so that she's communicating to him only.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a choice with Merrick, immobilize him first.
He nods slowly and says, I'm going to be honest with you, Sylvain. Heavy crossbow doesn't give me a lot of choices.
Well, that would be a shame. And she just pats him on the shoulder.
He nods in understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure he's entirely himself.
Oh, I was only talking to Cag, though.
I know, but this is also just group looking to Merrick.
He doesn't look well.
There are spells that will do that, and that is a sorcerer. I point to the nanorods.
Are you trying to say he's mind controlled?
It is not a form of magic I have ever studied because it is profoundly unethical, but I don't think we are dealing with an abundance of ethics over there. It is possible. And without examining him properly, I cannot discount that his actions may not have been his own.
Huh.
Well,
that changes things.
Merrick did save my life. He was still an asshole about it, but...
I mean, he's an asshole.
Yeah, that was just him.
I mean, that's not magic. He's an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But like an evil asshole? Maybe not, sounds like.
Like an asshole that has been controlled by someone who is evil.
Yeah. That does change things then.
Perhaps. If nothing else, it means that man in the robes there, please be careful with him.
So you're saying to take him down first.
Listen.
Oh, yes.
If he is a spellcaster, all respect, looks at you, Thadri, and says, that's who I should put this bolt in first.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't want to save him.
Don't let that fucker speak. If he is going to be...
Do spells in Forbidden Lands require
semantic or material or anything like
So
that?
somatic material.
No.
Okay.
Spells in Forbidden Lands, they specifically do
And no
not.
gestures. Okay.
Yeah, they specifically do not describe how magic manifests, because in
Okay.
Forbidden Lands it's kind of irrelevant. You could be somebody who was born mute, and you can absolutely cast every spell in Forbidden Lands, no problem. You don't have to use gestures either.
Yeah, you can specifically obscure magic, basically
Mhm.
subtle spell. It is
You can-
already built in, so you can't just like they can still
Yeah.
pass through it. It's harder,
Yeah.
but they can do it.
That being said, sorcery can still be disrupted. Summoning forth, sometimes it's just a sorcerer's practice of being able to know exactly how to emotionally and mentally tap into sorcery to manifest it in the way they choose. Sometimes that's through incantations. Usually that's just narrative flavor. It's really however you as the player or the storyteller wants that person to engage it. The only thing that is worth noting is spell components in Forbidden Lands are not necessary to cast spells, but if you do use them, they empower the spell. So healing, for example, is a rank 1 spell, but its spell component is cold, wet mud. If I put cold, wet mud on the wound while I'm casting it, the spell is charged by 1, and you will heal more than you would if I had not used the spell component.
The exception, of course, being one of my particular schools whereby the spell component is required, but
Yeah.
I have it.
Elementalist has to use material components to cast magic, or that doesn't work. But thankfully, the elements are everywhere.
How much cover do we have to get behind the
We are behind.
spellcaster? No, but to get much.
Oh,
So-
how close could? Oh,
Yeah. So let me specify 2 other things that you absolutely should know for this fight. One of the reasons why sorcery is so dangerous in Forbidden Lands is there is no roll to hit. If that sorcerer decides I'm casting fire on you guys, you just taken damage. It happens. It is terrifyingly powerful. So it doesn't matter if you're behind cover. He just needs to be able to spot you. And then here come the flames or whatever else he's got thrown against you. By the way, the magic mishap table will apply. He still runs the risk of pissing off sorcery, but keep that in mind. Now, the rest of the combat, though, y'all have half cover. So
I wasn't
right
thinking
now,
about cover.
right
It
now,
means if you're trying to sneak up and he spots you at all, it's a very high risk, high reward to try to geek the mage for melee in stealth in Forbidden Lands.
Kag and I both use long range weapons. We could aim for his head and hope to get the headshots.
Anyone who can do something from long range, do so, and then when we've taken our best shots.
Literally.
Yes.
Gordon, maybe you and I should spread a little bit further to each side so that when they do take the shots, if they're confused as to where the shots are coming from, we can confuse them further when we stab them in the face. From opposite sides.
Right, yeah. Except we're not stabbing Merrick anymore, right? In the face.
We're disabling Merrick.
All right, then.
Taking him out of the fight. Rendering him useless. I can keep coming up with phrases, but generally make sure he's not moving.
All right. All right, let's do this.
All right, so Sylvain will, creep around so that she's got a little bit quicker to run on the opposite side of them, and Gordon can take this side after the first shots go off, because I assume we would maybe get a surprise round, or at least a surprise attack for the long-range casters.
I am going to see about that because
we made a stealth roll just now.
You made the stealth roll to get where you are now.
Mhm.
If you want to attack from here, you're probably going to get an ambush on them. But if
Okay.
you want to get closer, we have to make another stealth check.
Oh no, but Gordon and I aren't trying to get closer. I think we're just spreading so that we can run in after the surprise.
Okay.
'Cause I mean, Gordon, I don't think you have long range weapons, do you, Gordon? No.
No.
neither.
Mm-mm.
So just to confirm, you want Kag to fire at the
And
Rust brother.
Jakob.
And
Mhm.
Jakob? Okay, so
Yeah,
you...
And Thaedry. I think we're gonna just pile everything onto one
Just
guy.
try to geek the mage.
Yep.
Okay, this is not... Okay, this is not going to go well for the mage.
I don't. Please don't.
This is
And
not
then
gonna-
and then we shall spawn camp him so he cannot get up.
Yeah. Salt the earth where he fell. Okay, in that case, this is going to be initiating combat, but y'all are going to get an ambush round. Now, ambush rounds in Forbidden Lands, just like everything else, is nasty. It means all y'all are going to get to go first, and they do not get to dodge. They do not get to parry. You're just going to roll to hit them. So if you'd like, y'all get to decide, since you're basically getting a free round of combat on this guy, you're going to get to decide who goes first. Who would you like to attack first?
Could I have the honors of shooting this person in the face? They are the reason that I got tossed in the pit forever ago.
It's true.
It's what
It's
started
true,
this whole
Jakob.
journey.
And you didn't
got a
take a
short
bath,
bow
so
on
you
you?
probably still smell bad. I'm just saying.
It's not great.
Why don't you go first?
Merci.
Do
I
the
think
honors.
anyone could tell that Phaedry
has the yips casting right now.
Oh no, not the yips.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
they're
I don't even.
they're a
yeah.
little unsteady.
All
but
right, here we
they're
go.
backing
I don't
up,
even have a
and they
soccer
got
ball
their
for
flint and
you.
steel out. They're
Here
ready.
we go, y'all. This is it. Jakob,
Okay.
I need you to make a marksmanship roll. You knock the arrow. You all can hear the wood creaking as Jakob pulls back the short bow and just takes a breath and then stands up just over the edge of the wall. No one's spotting, and pull the arrow back. Jakob, make the roll.
Oh, did it roll?
You are at short range, so it's a -1 to the roll. -1 die.
Okay. However, I took sharpshooter, so
Oh, then I think you ignore range penalties.
yeah, I
I
just
think.
read it.
Do you have rank 1? Rank 1 sharpshooter?
Rank 1. My attack rolls are modified by 1 when I shoot a bow or a crossbow.
Oh, okay,
just
so then
get
it
an
cancels
extra
out the
one.
-1.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So then,
Yeah.
so you roll your normal dice pool. Then cancels
Okay.
out the -1.
I walked around with my character sheet. Why do
You know
I
what
do
you
this?
could do? Actually, Jakob, I just realized I should counsel you to do this.
Okay.
You have this round of combat to do whatever you want. There's no reason in the world not to use your action to aim, which you can do as one of the
Good
fast
guy.
actions in ranged combat. So
Good.
normally aiming is a fast action, so you will automatically gain a +1 bonus to the attack. So you'll
Okay.
get back that +1 to hit.
Okay. Awesome. So now that's and my
So you'll
bonus
roll
2.
your ability dice, your agility, plus your marksmanship, plus 1 additional red skill die.
Okay. 1 success, 1 bane, which doesn't count, so just 1 success.
Did you also roll your gear bonus?
Yes, which was 2.
2, yes, because it's a short
2.
bow. I believe it's
Yeah.
2.
Yep. So 1 success.
1 success. All right, so that's going to hit. How much damage on
Okay.
that short bow?
1.
Arrow slams into him. He takes yeah, he's not wearing armor. He takes that arrow, slams into him. The moment he cries out, the 3 guys that were in front of him, their heads shoot up, and Merrick doesn't move. You just see him look over in y'all's direction. But this is all happening in the time span of a few moments. The next thing that happens is a dwarf leaping up with a heavy crossbow and is also going to open fire. All right, this is a marksmanship roll. Wait, hold up, because he has talents. He has, that's right. What does that do? Okay, so he can do that in a minute. He has sharpshooter as well. Let's see. So he's going to ignore the range modifiers, and he gains a plus. Oh, dude, so that's plus. Okay, ouch. So he's going to gain the +1, and then he also has Path of the Arrow. Oh, yeah. So he's going to get a +1 to the roll. Here we go. Here we go, buddy. sharpshooter. 3 successes, 1 bane.
Oh.
He is not going to push the roll.
Jealous.
And it's a heavy crossbow. So the gear bonus on that, the base damage of a heavy crossbow is, I have to double check because it's not here on the character sheet. Give me 1 second. Oh no, this is bad. This is bad. Okay. Longbow, heavy crossbow. The base damage is 3.
Nice.
It's a great sword. He shoots a great sword.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I have to modify this. So 3. Yep, the base damage is 3. So he does 3 successes. He rolls 3 successes. Net successes go to damage. So he does 5 damage on top of the arrow that you did.
What mage?
So
What mage?
the arrow sprouts from the mage's chest. The arrowhead bursts out the front of his chest and leaves him stunned, looking down at himself. And a beat passes and he falls to the ground with an arrow in his back and a bolt protruding from his chest right where his heart was.
Oh.
And he is down on the ground. And now we are in combat. Now we roll initiative. Now that the range combat is out of the way and combat's been initiated, everyone roll a d10. And we are
Am
off
I
to the
allowed
races.
to do the range combat as well?
Did
Or do
you,
I need to
if
roll
you have a
one?
range attack that you wanted to do, yes,
I do.
absolutely. If you wanted to get in on this,
Oh my goodness.
my
just as
understanding
this
was
person
that you
hits
weren't,
the
but that
ground.
doesn't mean you
Oh
can't
no,
say you
I'm
want
sorry.
to.
I should have been louder. I did chime in that I stayed
Okay,
once
what are you doing?
despite their yips. They're nervous because they're about to be
Oh.
up because I cast fireball.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Where's the fireball going?
It was going on the mage, which
Everywhere.
means it's going to catch one of the acolytes now as the main target.
Okay.
But one also rolls for attack on everyone in near range,
Oh no.
not just the main target.
Oh wow. Do it. Do your thing.
So that's
Do
4
your
base
thing.
dice.
4 base dice. Oh boy. As you cast magic again.
Oh my god!
Uh-oh. Oh my god, good or bad? Oh my god. Oh my god. 3?
4.
No, 3.
3.
Yeah.
3. The third one's is a 4. So that's 3 over charges on that.
And so you used, okay, so how much willpower did you use on that?
How
How much total damage?
I'm sorry?
How much total damage?
7. 4 dice go in, which means it's a power level 4
goodness.
spell, plus 3 overcharges is 7. I have to roll an attack with the base dice of the power levels for people who aren't the main target, so like the other 2 acolytes. So it's not that they all auto take 7. That would
Right.
be even more ridiculous than this already feels.
So then explain to me, you had to use fire to cast this.
Yes, I have
What
my
did you
flint
do?
and steel.
Okay, so while they were knocking their bow and arrow, you lit like a candle wick.
I'm nervously sparking the flint and steel over and over.
So you lit a
And
torch.
then when I'm up, I catch it into a piece of tinder,
Okay.
whip it up into flame, and throw.
All right. So one of those guys is taking 7 damage. And you have to roll for the other 2, is that
And
correct?
catching fire, yes. And then I roll an attack with 4 base dice. on both of
Okay.
them.
So wow, it's an actual attack roll because you're doing area of effect. This is the first magical
Mhm.
effect that we've rolled an attack roll on. So go ahead and make your rolls.
Oh my god. 2
2 more.
on the first one.
Okay. So how much total damage to that guy?
So then let me go back and pull up the spell. The main target of your attack suffers damage equal to power level. An attack against everyone within your range of the main target with a number of base dice equal. Anyone who suffers damage from the attack catches fire and takes another point. So I think it's it doesn't actually specify from that what the damage is, whether the damage is equal to power level or whether the damage is equal.
It says they catch the damage.
Roll for an attack against everyone within near range of the main target with a number of base dice equal to the power level 4. anyone who suffers damage from the attack. So I think I think it's 2 damage. Catches fire and then suffers another point at the start of every round until they extinguish the flames.
Okay, so they basically catch fire from this because it effectively.
So they
hits them,
take
but they don't
2 points of
fireball.
damage from those 2 successes, and then they catch fire. And so let me roll just there were 3 acolytes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just roll for the 3rd guy. And that, I'm moving straight to camera. It's another 2 successes.
Oh my God, Sam.
I'm so sorry.
Heck
Oh
yeah,
my
yes.
God.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. So so that guy, so all 3 of them are going to light in flames. One of them is going to disintegrate. And can you roll one more time for me?
Sure. That one is just a single success. But
That's all
it
you
is a
needed, right?
single success. I haven't rolled any ones yet.
Okay.
I feel like I don't want to jinx anything, but I feel like they're apologizing to me a little.
They might be apologizing to you.
Or to Phaedry. Again, Sam thinks it's cool.
The arrows, by the time the body hits the ground, you all can feel the blistering heat suddenly around all of you as Phaedry summons up the rage of sorcery, calling forth the elements of fire and expressing it in a massive fireball. It goes sailing through the air and impacts right in the center of where they were. One of them disappears. It's just not there anymore. The others 2 light up in flames like giant candles, and they don't make a noise.
Over the
In
whoosh
fact,
of flame, you might hear a cackle coming from the side where Sylvain went.
The body of the fallen wizard also, because of that success, lights up in flames. And now we roll initiative.
4.
Okay.
Okay, so
For fun.
oh boy, now we
Whatever
have
we
the fight.
don't see.
I literally cannot roll low on initiative in this game, I guess. I rolled a 9.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh, Gordon's not going first. Jakob, how'd you do?
A 6.
6. Okay, Phaedry, how'd you do?
3.
Okay, Phaedry's doing quite well. And then I have to roll for Merrick.
Melee,
Okay.
one of y'all maybe want to swap initiative with me. We're allowed to.
Yes, but you have to wait until your action, but yes, you can do
Yeah.
it. You can swap initiative.
I just know I'm fairly near the top, and just if people want to think about it.
So first up is going to be you, Sylvain.
I had a 4. Phaedry had a 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Phaedry, you are first up.
That's why I
Phaedry
was
and
to say if Gordon wanted to swap with Phaedry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the melees would be going a little earlier, which I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about me. Sorry.
Would you like to go
Phaedry-
at the top of initiative order, and I go at the
And
back? Since
Phaedry
I'm not making
basically-
any, I've already gotten my AOE spells out of the way, so I'm probably best hanging back and just seeing what happens. In case
Yeah.
need
I
to
wouldn't
go
mind
and
that.
do
Gordon's plan is to bum rush Merrick and just tackle him and hold him down.
And you're
Oh,
best.
hey!
You're very well equipped to do that with melee charge and everything. So please,
probably better you got there
please
first.
proceed. I
Do the thing.
need a moment.
yeah,
Okay.
you take a little breather.
All right, Gordon, you're up then. Phaedry switches on the initiative. So then you are now going to be going, and Phaedry, you are now initiative 9. So Gordon, what are
Okay,
you doing?
thank you. I'm bum rushing Merrick to knock him out and just get him on the ground, cover him, hold him down.
Phaedry is 9.
And yes, I do want to use, let's see, so with melee charge,
Yeah.
how does this work? So when I move from near to arm's length range, am I at near range? I think you said we were at long range.
You were
from
at long range from Merrick. So you are
Mhm.
going to need to your move. You can move, I believe it's 2, but if you're going to charge him, you're going to have to use both of your actions to move 2. And that'll break you from long to short to near.
Okay, so on that first move, yes, going long to short, and then second move, short to near. Oh, so I
Mhm.
can't tackle him till my next move. My next.
Well, no, because remember, one of your talents lets you attack
Oh, is
when
that
you
the
are
melee
at near
charge?
range. Yes, it lets you. The talent you took. You took. What was it? Combat charge. What was it?
Melee charge.
Melee charge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you write down what it does?
Yeah, it's when you move from near to arm's length range, you can, as the same action, slash, stab, punch, or shove.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
This
you're
is
too
called
far.
the charge.
So yeah, you are going to be too far away.
Welp. Then I guess I'll just get as close as I can to him. If I can actually, excuse me, hopefully with the flames happening in front of Merrick, maybe there's a little distraction. So could I try to stealth closer to him so that he doesn't hear me coming behind, like sneak up on us?
Certainly give it a shot. It's always worth a chance. I mean,
I have decent stealth.
Keep in mind, though, the location from which all of the chaos just erupted from is very obvious to him.
Yeah, but
we split off.
Before
we're not there.
they did. Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Yes, you.
I'm not
in
coming
which
from
case,
there.
Okay, so if you were going to move, if you're going to use both of your actions to move into a closer zone.
Yeah, to move to near.
Because Gordon and I had moved up, I think it was like 10 feet, 15 feet, like away.
Right, that's right.
Yeah,
I remember
we
you
were, like,
saying that now. That's right, you did say that. Yeah.
I don't know how much that gave us.
To move during combat, you use the run action, which is a fast action. This moves you from run zone to the neighboring zone or between near and arm's length from that. No roll is required unless you're moving through a rough zone, which technically you will be at some point, but not yet. 25 meters away, yeah. So if you want to stealth on him, you certainly can, but you'll need to make a roll for that to ensure that he does not spot you.
Before that, though, since we did declare that the two of us kind of like moved out so that we could flank, did that buy me going to short range from long to short?
I don't have a problem saying yes to that. I think that would be reasonable. I think when you were setting up for the attack, yeah, I would say you and Sylvain could have moved it into short range at that point.
Okay.
Normally that would have been another stealth roll, though. In this case, I'm okay with just saying you guys, the ambush, maybe y'all were sneaking at the same time fireballs were happening. So he didn't think to look in your direction. He was mostly looking at everybody blowing up and then finding out where it came from.
Crossbow bolt fire.
If you want to sneak up on him now, it would definitely be another stealth check. And just as a quick reiteration, in Forbidden Lands, the closer you get to your opponents in stealth checks, unless you have talents that will get rid of these penalties, the penalty increases the closer you get. So if you sneak up on somebody in near range, it's a -1, and when you're arm's length, it's -2. They have a better chance of hearing you or knowing you're there.
Well, now my strategy is kind of different because
you're just going to bum rush
stealthing. Exactly.
Right.
I was only stealthing because I needed to buy myself time.
Yeah.
I don't need to stealth now.
Yeah, you're good to go now. Yeah, if we're gonna play it like this, then I would say you and Sylvain are within short range, and you guys can make your move.
All right. So Gordon is going from short to near, and then near to arm's length.
Okay.
And then using my melee charge as the same action as that near to arm's length move, I will. Should we call it shove? I do want to like knock him down and tackle him and hold him down. I don't know what you would like to call that. Slash, stab, punch, or shove. Does that work?
That's probably that is going to be a shove.
Okay.
Which is a fast melee action. Yeah, it's a shove attack because you're trying to knock him down, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
tackle,
yeah. If
literally.
you want to knock him prone, then it's a shove attack. And that's a melee skill. You're not going to get any die bonuses to it. He does have the opportunity to dodge, however.
I also get a +1 because I'm charging.
Sylvain, are you also trying to tackle him?
Oh, no.
Okay, so go ahead and make your roll then.
Okay.
And tell me what you get.
So you said melee, right?
Uh-huh.
Melee, and then I add a +1. I'm guessing that's a red die, you said, right? Whenever it's a plus anything.
Yeah, whenever you're getting to the bonus die, it's always a skill die because skill dies do not have bangs on them, so you can't get screwed for getting a bonus die.
Lovely. Yeah. And then I don't think, no suitable weapon equipped. Damage will be 1 if I hit it. All right, let's do this. Okay, 2 successes, 1 bane.
Okay. 2 successes, 1 bane. So you're going to dash up there. He turns and looks at you, and for the briefest of seconds, as you're charging up on him, Gordon, you lock eyes with Merrick. for a split second, you see what looks like a man who has probably spent the past couple of days, if you didn't know any better, he looks like he's been sobbing, but his face is completely neutral, except for this slight grin that cracks when he sees you growing closer. His eyes are a bright yellowish color, not his typical eyes, not like the brilliant, beautiful, rich color, but like almost a translucent, like kind of difficult spot.
Kind of.
What? Yeah, kind of. You full on tackle him and he goes down. You drop him to the ground. He goes, just the impact of this great wolfkin slamming into his body as he goes pitching back, and just the slapping sound of these great humanoids hitting the concrete as the two of you go down. He is now prone. Shove attacks do not knock you prone. So you just basically tackle him down to the ground football style.
Oh, I did want to like be on top of him.
I mean, you don't have to worry about that. I'm just saying.
You can do it if you want. But if you're going to try to restrain him, that's a grapple attack, and that is a second fast action.
But I've used up all my actions for this, right?
Yeah, because no, because you used your melee charge action, which gives you an immediate attack for moving. So you can grapple him, yes.
Sylvain, did you have a plan that I would have known about for Merrick?
You might guess that I'm going to make sure that he can't use any fancy footwork.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm doing too, though. So
you're doing it. Yeah,
I'm not going
to. I'm trying to say this without. What'd you say?
Less amputatively.
Well, I'm not going to cut anything off.
Okay, if you say so.
Well, okay, sorry.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, whatever you do, I roll with it.
You know what? How about this? I will disarm him at least, or try to. I want to try to take away his shield and what? Yeah, his shield.
His shield is strapped to his back, so you're not going to be able to just remove that because now he's lying on his back.
Okay, then I will pin him to the ground.
Okay.
Oh, but his sword is what?
You could grab his sword. That is just in the sword scabbard at his side. You could if you wanted to. If you wanted to make an attempt on that,
I'll do that. I'll take away his sword or try.
Normally, that is a contested roll. If you're going to try to if you're going to try to disarm him, he does not resist. So as you reach down and grab the blade of the sword, he watches as you draw it out and toss it aside. It goes clattering to the floor.
What's wrong with you, mate?
And that's your action?
Yeah, I say that to him.
Yeah, you say that to him. All right, Gordon, that's your action. You've tackled him and disarmed him. He's on the ground. Gordon, that's you. So, Sylvain, you're actually up next.
So he's on his back?
Yeah, he's got him. Gordon's got him down. And the sword has been tossed aside.
Oh, man. I know I'm going to take a penalty from everybody for doing this. Sylvain would have run in at the same time. Let's just say that she would have taken her action very quickly after Gordon.
Okay.
Because of how quick all the combat goes. So she probably would have followed through on her action, having already planned it without knowing Gordon was going to be able to get him on the ground. So she will use her entire first action, the run, everything, to get right next to him.
Okay.
And because I took Path of the Blade too, I get another attack. Even if I'd already used my whole turn to get up there.
Okay.
She will drop to one knee, grab his leg, say, sorry about this, and cut his Achilles tendon.
You will have to roll for the attack, but he is not going to be able to dodge it.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make the roll.
Bit of a heel turn, I'd say.
Yeah. But okay. So that attack I'd be rolling might.
Yes, make a might roll.
And using my sword. My sword as a
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a might roll, it's a melee attack.
Oh, melee roll. Okay, sorry.
It's melee.
Hey, that's better. What do you mean no suitable weapon equipped? It's my sword.
It's like,
What?
no.
Yeah,
It
it's telling me.
agrees with me. You're unsuitable.
Okay, but it's so. What do I do at that point? Because it's saying that I can't use my sword for a melee attack.
No, you can. It's probably just a program error. So you're using a long sword, which is going to give you a +2 black die bonus.
Okay, thank you. Because I was
Yeah.
very sad about that
Yeah,
for a
it's
minute.
ridiculous.
Okay. 2 successes.
Okay.
I'm
So-
being nice. I'm only doing 1.
So, Sylvain, you take the edge of your blade, you apologize to him, and at about the same time you slash across the leg is when I'm going to have to ask each of you, both you and Gordon, to make an endurance check.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
crap.
this is going to be, let's see, against hold on, yeah, make an endurance check.
What kind of is like? Can you give us a little more information about what's happening? or-
Not until it's all
Not until
happening.
it's
It hasn't
happening,
happened.
yeah.
I just want to
You-
know if our armor
Your
affects
armor,
us at all.
no, your armor doesn't come into play. This is an endurance check, so it's like a con save.
Okay.
Right.
So
okay.
roll your strength and endurance.
2 successes.
I am pushing it. Oh, thank God. 1 success.
1 success.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Unfortunately, Sylvain, you did not succeed. So as you get up there, you grab the leg. Sorry about this. And as you slice across from it, this greenish ichor splashes out onto the stones, and a vapor goes and begins to fill the area right where you are in. And the moment that happens, it turns into this like orangish cloud of almost like someone has just banged a blade that was covered in rust, and it just poofs right out in front of you. Gordon, you immediately recoil and start coughing. Sylvain, you gain a disease with a virulence of 11. It immediately permeates your body, and you feel sickness in just entering into your skin. Just you can feel this immediate like feverishness
I have
just
no idea.
permeating into your skin. Immediately feels feverish.
Does that lucky feat give me any?
It's not a critical hit.
Well, no, okay. I wasn't sure if it meant that I could re-roll anything or.
No.
I mean, I technically could have pushed it again.
You could call upon your pride and roll a d12 to get an extra success to avoid this.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to look at Gordon and Jakob and Thaydri. And I'm going to kind of lock eyes with Thaydri, and then I will activate the pride, and I will roll the d12. Hold on.
Roll the d12. You need at least 1 success, and I cannot stress this enough, Sylvain. You want this success.
I know.
Yes.
I got a success.
You managed to resist.
I just wanted to draw it out for Sam for
The
a second.
tension.
You don't. That level of virulence is a death sentence.
Yeah, I figured. That's why I was like, oh God.
That would have been, yeah. So you just made what's called a sickness roll. A typical disease has a virulence of 3. And this was 11. So this was like this is literally this actually Sam and I who played Forbidden Lands for a while now. I've never seen one that high before.
No, I don't think we've seen above a 7.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And that's having druids on standby.
Yeah.
Which we do not have. Again, I am not that kind of mage.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
Yes. Because it would have been
Stay
enduring.
on that. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I can go into detail later, but that success from calling upon your pride may have just saved Sylvain's life. The moment you see and the thing dissipates and you manage to immediately instinctively, Sylvain, you exhale as quickly as possible. Just cough and kind of pull yourself away from this cloud as it immediately dissipates and settles. And a voice that comes out of Marek does not sound like Marek, and just says, "Apology accepted." Gordon, what you see is haunting because the eyes look like a man in agony, desperate, on the verge of sobbing. The smile is a man in pure delight and joy and wicked ecstasy.
Can
He's
like
possessed.
so I kind of rolled back to avoid that cloud, but do I see that at all?
Oh yeah, we'll say you can see that. And that
I
is
say
not human blood that just came out of him easily.
I say
I'm-
loudly for the other two to hear too. He's possessed. Just FYI.
I mean, well, at least he's immobilized between you and I.
That is going to be
I just want them
your
to know.
round. So then Sylvain, after you, is going to be Yaku. Jakob, what are you doing?
He is
killed him.
possessed. Do I shoot? Do I shoot someone who is possessed? Do I talk to them? Do I play the music?
You got a few seconds to decide.
I'm gonna shoot him in the other leg.
Okay.
Is that going to release another one of those clouds? Because we're gonna. Yeah.
You don't know.
Please don't.
I mean,
don't know
at
what
this
that
point,
was.
I think Gordon and I probably would be ready to like back up really fast.
Are the
Away
other
from that.
two acolytes still? Yeah, they're still on fire
Oh.
because they haven't had their turn yet.
Oh, they're incinerated.
Yeah, they're
Or,
burning right now. They haven't
you
had
know
they
what?
haven't had a chance to go yet.
You know what? Sylvain. I mean, that cloud would have been visible, right?
I'll say yes. I'll say it was visible.
Okay, because Sylvain will scream to not
Perfect. Okay.
stab him, attack him. Like, if I use the word I was about to use, Sam would just go into paroxysms of giggles. So I'm not going to use it. Yeah.
Okay. What do you? So, Jakob, are you holding your action then?
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. I feel you. I sympathized.
I'm gonna hold on to that action for a second then.
You knock another arrow. You can use that as your action and ready your weapon, but you just kind of
Perfect.
hold. So that's going to be Jakob's action. Then next up is going to be Thadri and this Merrick.
Oh,
Thadri, you can go first. What are you doing? We're on 9 now.
By lore or by sense of magic, do I have a sense of?
You can't. Oh, you want to find out if he's exuding sorcery. By the way, on this round, the last two guys simply burn. They are dead.
Okay.
They just died.
Okay.
We ignore them.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're done. Their lives came to an end. As a bit of a sidebar, this would have been kind of fun to tell you afterwards, but just to let you know, there was a mechanism in place in which their blood had been drawn on to bring the guy back to life, but Sam lit everybody on fire,
Oh,
including the dude on the ground.
Thank
So,
you.
Sub boss fight was defeated in one go with no possibility
Yay.
of respawn. That is that. So well done, well played, noble victory. So you're trying to find out if this is.
I have
Okay.
a fair amount of lore and a fair amount of.
You do. Go ahead and make a. Yeah, I would say go ahead and make a lore check.
Yeah. Do I add what I have read from the book? That 1 die bonus. Is that relevant to this check?
Oh, that's right. There was a book that actually described demons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a +2 bonus.
2.
Roll 2 extra dice. I forgot about
Sylvain
that.
may or
Alright.
may not have
Remember.
also added burn him, please.
2.
You.
2.
Sylvain, the coloration on the eyes, and now that you've seen the blood, was suddenly it clicks to your horror. This is a demon, all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
You
creature.
mean that? You mean Thadri? It clicks to Thadri.
Sorry, Thadri. Yes, Thadri. You remember because you spent time with that book. You flipped through it. You were looking at all the
It's my book,
diagrams.
yes.
You were memorizing everything. For a moment, the world kind of fades around you. You can hear Jakob just kind of like, do I shoot? Do I not? Just kind of like going back and forth with the arrow, trying to figure out like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Even Cag is like, I don't know. What are we doing here? Daedry, there was a demon in that book that stood out to you, and it clicks because you read it so thoroughly. This is a demon. If you're correct, this demon's name is Xomo, Xomo. One of the few demons that has the ability to completely inhabit the body of a humanoid. It is a particularly horrific demon because there are no known ways to dislodge it once it has infected a body or become part of the body. It is assumed that the host is a walking dead person at that point, and they are trapped. Their own psyche is trapped and caged inside the malice of the demon that has inhabited their body. That's the first thing you remember with 2 successes. The next thing you remember are vitally important. First of all, it is remarked in this book that this demon is incredibly dangerous. Gordon and Sylvain don't know this yet, but the creature that they are currently on top of has a strength of 12, an armor of 5, and has an area attack that can freeze things and give them the cold condition with its breath. It also is known to have wicked talons and bite. To make matters worse, its skin is virulent.
Yeah, I noticed.
The last thing noticed in the demon book that you read, and this is what causes your blood to run cold, Daedry. This demon has the ability, once every other round, to teleport anywhere within long range, which means at will he could pop up right in front of you, Daedry, if he wanted to. All of this, as much as it chills you, is replaced with a sudden, exultant, urgent adrenaline rush, remembering that in that book with 2 successes,
It has a
because
weakness.
you recovered the book,
They all have a weakness.
they all have a fucking weakness. All demons have a fucking weakness. This one's weakness is wood. A incredibly common and very scarce thing to find here in a city made of crumbling stone. But oh my, there is plenty on the lot of you. Curious then that the wooden shield on his back hasn't caused any harm. Perhaps it needs to be a stabbing weapon of some kind. Maybe it's not just the touch, but you do recall wood. Wood gets through to the demon.
Wood,
And-
wood, stake him. Stake him with wood.
And that's going to be your action.
Okay, it was a slow action, Lord.
No, are you gonna? Oh, that's right. You still have an attack. I'm sorry. I keep thinking the fireball was your action for the round. Go ahead. What are you gonna do?
I mean, I do have a profoundly bad idea.
Okay.
I cannot overstate how bad it is, especially given that at least there's the weakness. But it means if my thing fails, they might succeed. I have Path of Blood rank 1.
Mhm.
But there's this thing called chance casting that lets you cast 1 level above your rank.
That's right. It's dangerous.
It's
Because
dangerous.
the-
You suffer an automatic mishap, which Daedry is presently terrified of. But 2 people they care about, 2
Yes.
people they love, are right there next to this demon, and I have to try something. I'm going to chance cast Bind Demon.
Okay.
It's I
That's a healing
preface.
spell?
No, it's
You
not. It's a blood magic spell.
Oh, you're right. It is
It's
blood
not
magic. I
Banish
was thinking
demon,
of Purge
it's
Demon.
Bind Demon. It's a very different one. Well, it's not very different, but they don't like it.
This spell allows you to bend demonic creatures from other worlds to your will. The demon can resist the spell if a successful insight roll with a negative modifier equal to the power level is rolled. Keep in mind that demons rarely react well to magicians. Oh, who gives a shit about that? Okay, Daedry, you're going to get an automatic magical mishap,
Yep. And I might
But
roll
you-
more.
but you are going to cast a rank 2
You're gonna
spell.
try?
You're going to attempt to bind Xomo. And you're doing it because Gordon and Sylvain have no idea how much
don't know
danger
that they
they're in
really
right
can't
now.
know.
When this thing gets to go next turn, it's going to be bad. So
So I have
cast
to
your
try.
spell.
Oh my gosh, I see one overcharge. I see two overcharges.
Okay, so I have to roll. So what power level is that at?
That means it's a total power level of 5. It's at a -5 modifier.
He can't beat that. That is going to absolutely override. All right, 1 second. Before the one thing that could stop this from happening is the mishap.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
oh
roll.
god.
I'm gonna roll on the
about to-
magical mishap table because a magical mishap can go. Magical mishap could reverse the spell.
I could be the bound demon.
Yeah,
Or I can be cast into the demon realm.
I roll.
Or I could be anything. Again.
I rolled a 51.
Oh god.
The
That's
spell
very high
binds you.
Oh.
Oh no!
No.
You gain. Okay. Okay. No, I read that wrong.
Oh god.
Phaedri, you summon forth this magic, and as you cast it forth, there's the wicked grin on Zomos' face as Sylvain, you and Gordon can see suddenly he just goes like Wolverine style, brings his hands out, and you see black wicked claws just and sharp teeth emerge from his mouth. Just to give you an idea, he had just to paint a picture for the players, you're getting a sense of how powerful this creature is. He attacks with 11 base dice with his claws. And when you see them come out, you just see him, and you see you are in arm's length, and he is so happy you two are here. And then all of a sudden you see his body go, and he seizes up as his body kind of constricts, and he goes, and he coils in. Gordon, you kind of back off as you're not sure what's happening. And you just see he just jerks to the left and then again to the right, and his head and his arms start to twist. He starts looking like something right out of The Exorcist as he's fighting against the body of the creature that he's in and the magics. You see these sort of purplish like ropes begin to form and wrap around him, just tying around, and you see them vanish into his limbs, and he goes, no. He hisses in your direction, Phaedri. Frost begins to broil out of his mouth, but it doesn't charge. It doesn't envelop anybody nearby, but the air around him drops to temperatures that would kill like any animal that was nearby. And you just see him, and then he stops and he does not move. And Phaedri, that's the last thing you see.
Does Phaedri?
Your world goes completely dark.
What
No,
can we
no,
see?
oh
Can
no.
I catch them?
What's that?
Could I catch
Phaedri
them?
is standing there.
Oh.
They
Oh.
they
And
lost.
you wave your hands in front of your face. You see nothing.
Is Phaedri just not moving, just standing there, staring?
I'm trying to hold the
Exhaling.
spell.
Mm-hmm.
We heard her shout, or we heard them shout wood, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You all heard them shout wood.
Stake it with wood.
Whose
Sylvain
turn?
is looking
Yeah.
around for anything.
Immediately, Cag turns to Jakob and says,
Crossbow
looks at
bolt.
you have all bolt, but arrows longer than bolts. You see, he turns, Jakob, points. You have a quiver of arrows.
Oh. Yes. Arrows.
Shafts of wood. A whole quiver of arrows for your short bow.
How do held turns work? Can I?
We're technically not in combat anymore because the demon has been completely bound by Phaedri taking a vicious risk and mishapping right there, summoning blood magic beyond their capacity to cast. So you can actually act right now out of combat.
Yes, but Sylvain, what's up? Before I
No,
up?
no, I was just going to if I heard Cag say arrows, I would have looked at Jakob and like reached my hand out, like throw them over here.
Well, I'll
Get
shoot
them
from
here.
where I'm at. I've already I had it knocked and everything.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Sylvain will grab Gordon and pull both of them like somewhere not by the demon.
So if you decide, Jakob, what you can do here is a coup de grace.
Yeah.
So coup de grace in Forbidden Lands is normally if you tried to do this on a mortal, you would actually have to make an empathy check to murder somebody in cold blood.
Okay.
You would have to fail an empathy roll to murder somebody in cold blood. However, not monsters. Demons don't count. You can coup de grace a demon. So what you need to do, you don't even have to roll. You just declare you're going up to an incapacitated opponent. You have the wood in your hand. You can declare a coup de grace. I'm not going to make you roll empathy, and you can basically drive or slam the wood into the heart. But you're going to have to get up there to do it because you don't have you're not at an angle where you can just shoot somebody in the heart from where you're standing yards away.
So Jakob quickly is holding one of the bolts, and he notices his hand is shaking, and there's a moment he's like, I cannot, Sylvain, and I'm gonna throw you.
All right.
Tosses it to you.
Sylvain will grab it,
take the arrows,
snap the arrowhead off so that it's a sharp wooden bit, and walk up and go ahead.
Again, it's haunting because you see the desperation and pleading in the eyes.
Yeah. I was actually about to ask him before the gas hit if he wanted us to kill him.
Like he's begging for it, but the mouth is reacting like someone's screaming in rage and terror as you approach.
When I looked back to catch the arrows, would I have seen Thaedry?
Thaedry is just kind of, it's just standing there right now. Kind of arms
staring
outstretched,
kind of blankly.
Holding the spell.
Yeah. Looks like they might be lost in complete focus, but it's holding the spell in place.
So Sylvain will walk up with the snapped off arrow and stand right over him and say, I'm talking to Merrick, not you, asshole. And we'll look at the eyes and not at the mouth and say, I'm sorry. I have to do this.
There is tears running out of the sides of his eyes.
You are also an asshole, but you are our asshole. So we are doing this because we care. She will just
make an insight check.
Heck. I'm sorry, there's my insight.
Language.
That's a double success. That's 2 successes.
You know Merrick well enough. You're looking at Merrick's eyes right now. The demon's definitely taken over, but you're looking into his expressive eyes at the moment. And you get a sense of gratitude and regret.
Okay.
Thaedry has full control over the demon. You actually have the ability to bend the demon at your will. So as you raise that stakes, the demon's arms are pulled away from the center of his chest, and he lays there helplessly.
And I'm not going to draw it out or anything. She's just going to move very quickly and straight down.
The moment the wood enters his chest, that greenish ichor that was causing the virulence evaporates. It burns away as the wood impacts into the flesh. And as that happens, you hear, and then it goes into a screeching, horrifying, loud noise. Thaedry, you don't know what's happening, but you're pretty sure you're hearing the death scream of the ancient demon.
I can feel it in the spell.
You definitely feel the spell. It's like something is slipping away. And Sylvain, you, Jakob, Gordon, everybody is watching as the body starts to twitch as this ice begins to explode out from his mouth, and shards of ice begin to pierce through all of the cheeks, the eyes, and everything as the demon explodes outward. And all around you, as the body falls limp in front of you, with the wooden shard sticking out of the chest and the body in the shape that it's in. The demon, as the shards detonate and flow up into the sky, it begins to snow on you all. A gentle snow as the corpse of this frosted demon rains down upon all of you like a gentle winter day.
Gordon?
Hmm?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Jakob?
Yes, I have all of my limbs still.
Okay. Cag?
What? He looks at you. Yeah, no, I'm
Okay. Yeah, that's the answer I needed. Okay. Phaedry?
Yes.
You're okay?
How are you?
Suspicious.
Good. That means you're all right.
And when she turns around and looks at Gordon, because Gordon would be the only one close enough to see anything, I think, Gordon would be able to tell that took a lot more out of her than she would care to admit to somebody.
Phaedry, the sorcery it's the summoning of blood magic that was the issue. The mishap causes that sudden rush of blood, and the darkness begins to bleed away from your vision, but now all you literally see is just red in front of you. To anybody looking at Phaedry at the moment, their eyes are a horrifying mixture of that owl orange and bloodshot veins and harsh reds. Their pupils are completely dilated. You definitely get the sense that Phaedry cannot observe you and is kind of just focused on...
They're hanging out where they are. They're standing very still.
Mm-hmm. You let the magic dissipate. You just take a deep breath, Phaedry. The silence begins to fall over, and the snow continues to rain down. Small little snowflakes melting as they touch the stone.
Is this common for us, by the way? Is this something that happens? Do we get snow? Like, that's something I don't know.
No, this is literally just the fact that you slew a demon in a coup de grace, and the demon happened to be like ice elemental. It was immune to fire and everything. It was...
Well, we did it. Do we return and celebrate?
Well, Gordon's got a drink.
I do not want to drink that again. It was your mother's spit.
I'm told it's fermentatious.
Oh.
Yeah.
So...
And basically, also Sylvain kind of looks at Gordon and then over at the, literal demon that Gordon managed to knock over.
No demon lays on the floor before you.
Well, no, but I'm saying the body of... And she looks at Gordon, she said, remind me to never get into a fight with you.
Why would we have a fight? The thought has literally never occurred to Gordon.
On that note,
Sylvain's thinking bar fight here.
On that note, Cag gently touches the side of your arm, Phaedry, and just says, "Hey, you good?"
Would you mind go getting me Sylvain?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. A lot of you managed to come together.
Well? They're kind of just chatting while he goes and
touches. Sylvain's doing the same thing with Gordon. Like, seriously, that was a shove. Can you imagine if you punched somebody?
Yeah, I can, because I've done it.
Oh man.
So as the lot of you banter back and forth, Sylvain, you were called over to where Phaedry is. Cags, first of all, Gordon, you and Jakob are looking down at the fallen form of your fellow Miststalker. And it occurs to the two of you as Sylvain is pulled away to Thaedry. It occurs to the two of you as the banter kind of slowly dies down for a second and it starts to settle on you. Merrick's death in front of you. It starts to settle on the two of you that Tylus wasn't the first victim. You begin to realize that this thing claimed two of you, not just one of you. And that's when it occurs to you, Jakob, that one of Merrick's final acts of being in control of himself might have been convincing them to spare the goblin.
Oh.
That asshole, the whole reason he was acting strange and pushing back. He lays there before you, and the two of you just let it sink in for a moment. And that's when the exhaustion rushes in. The days of hunting, the loss of Tylus, the uncertainty about the future. But you're Miststalkers. Tylus trained you to do what you did. You know what you're up against. Merrick knew what he was up against. And by helping spare the life of another Miststalker, Merrick died a Miststalker. The two of you stand over the body as Cag moves away, nodding to you, Sylvain. And Sylvain, you walk up to Thaedry, and you can tell, looking at Thaedry's eyes, that sorcery had an effect. Thaedry's hands just slowly lower, and they're not really looking at you.
Sylvain, I'm going to need you to guide me back to Seven Raven. I can't hear you, dear. You're going to have to speak up a bit.
I know. Well, it won't be a problem to guide you, I don't think. And I mean, thankfully, Thaedry cannot see her face right now. And Sylvain kind of, takes Thaedry's hand and goes, you know what?
What?
This means you never have to see how messy I look ever again.
I move my one hand to your elbow for the guide. I take my other arm and I wrap it around your shoulder. And I grab the base of the braid.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I was expecting.
Pat.
The journey back to Seven Raven is a little slower and a little less urgent. But thankfully, Ravenland is kind to you. Or perhaps the death of a demon nearby has frightened away any would-be invaders or monsters or harpies or whatever else. Lords know that the scream that creature gave off was probably heard across the mountain ranges. Cags keeps you company, asks a bunch of questions about monster slaying, makes some wisecracks about if tackling is part of the skill sets you learn. And as a few of those nights pass, you all start feeling more and more comfortable with yourselves. And by the time you return to Seven Raven, there is a sense of maybe there is a future for the Miststalkers. That will be for y'all to decide. Upon entering the gates of the Perch after leaving the main city, the townsmen and the townsfolk in general just giving you all a wide berth as you walk through, clearly battle-worn and travel-worn, nodding to you respectfully. Some people regarding Thaedry with some surprise, but no stares of alienation. Mostly just watching the Miststalkers move through town. The people of Seven Raven acknowledge that you've come back from a hunt. And people are really excited to see the celebrity of Jakob move through the streets again. A couple of people call out. Two things happen once you enter into the gates. Gim has cleaned up the courtyard. And there's no sign that anything ever happened here. And you can also see that he's got planks of lumber out in front where he is constantly sawing. He's delighted to see all of you. And as you all enter into your sanctuary, the perch, taking a rest and sliding into the benches, taking in the familiar scents and sounds and feelings of being once again, you blink a few times, Theodre, and glance over to your left as you begin to feel a little bit of a bizarre fading into your head, this sense of something sinking away. And the last thing we see before we fade out is the 1-day penalty of the vision effect on you wear off. And you see the messy hair and face of Sylvain.
Sylvain,
Mm.
you look like shit.
And that is our button.
Yes.
I mean, it was better. I was gonna do like some emotional hang Merrick shield up on the wall moment, but yeah, no, that one works too.
This is it. This is the one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that felt right. Oh my goodness.
God, that was
Y'all,
good.
I was like 1 point away from failing that damn roll.
You a virulence
what's
of
your
11.
pride? What was the pride that you rolled on? Do we get to know?
You can tell
I can
Yeah,
read
you
it
can all
to-
share your secrets now if you want.
So my pride is I don't make friends easily, but am fiercely loyal to those who have earned my trust.
Nice.
And my secret, the secret which I thought I was possibly going to call upon when Theodre had their transformation, was the fact that I more than occasionally find myself sympathizing more with the monsters than people.
Which would have added
Ooh.
yeah, that would have added a whole new dynamic to that.
Not yet. We'll see these kids again.
How about you, Gordon? You want to? Oh, you know what though, Gordon? I don't want
What?
you to share your dark secret
Oh, okay.
Just in
We can
case.
come back to folks.
because I have something for that, and I want you to share it. Because
Oh boy.
in fact, if you guys want, because we will be visiting this character again, I'm giving you all the option of change. You can do this in game too, between game sessions, but you can change your pride and you can change your dark secret if role playing permits. So Sylvain, you will have the option if any of y'all want to share your dark secret and pride.
Oh
you may do
no,
so.
yeah. I after watching, Merrick get ripped apart like that, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that my dark secret's going to change.
Mm,
And
that's
mine's
fair.
going to as well.
Nice.
I faced it, so it
I
isn't
kept
there anymore.
I kept hoping that Jakob's dark secret was going to come up, but I could
Right?
not.
I think I'm gonna keep that one for now.
You should, because we're going to play this again, and I cannot
This is-
wait.
Yeah,
till
this is
that
the
time.
best
Potential
like
is
little
good.
band of adventurers.
Mhm.
No,
like-
my dark secret, I was terrified of what would happen if my magic were ever fully unleashed.
Well,
No, I confronted it.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, you did.
Voila.
Yeah.
It's this.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
This has been a taste of Forbidden Lands. Campaigns of this game come with emotionally charged scenarios of random encounters and incredible things, and I'm so glad I got to run 4 sessions of it for you all. Thank you so much for being
Yes.
willing to just jump into this. Everyone did wonderful. Everyone contributed in incredibly meaningful ways, and everyone was brilliant in the role play. And Jakob, every time you said asshole, I kept thinking of that asshole French kid in Hancock. Say asshole
I
one
mean,
more time.
don't forget to award us our XP because we're coming
Yeah,
back.
let's do it.
Yeah, we have to
Let's
carry
do it
these
because
over.
we are going to come back. Let's go ahead and get the XP rewards out of the way. Let's do this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we're going to keep with this because anytime we can arrange a schedule where we can get us all together to play this again. I think Streampunks should play it again. So let's do it. Okay, so did you participate? Yes, gain 1.
Yes.
You definitely traveled through at least 1 hex of the map, so gain another 1.
Cool.
You definitely discovered a new Whaler's Hold.
Yep.
And you haven't even scratched Whaler's Hold yet. You just had an encounter. You haven't even explored the Whaler's Hold yet. That's a whole other thing. You definitely defeated 1 or more monsters in a spectacular way. I'm sorry, I'm so amazed. The binding of the demon, the risking the magical mishap, the full-on tackle, the avoiding a Virulence 11 attack, which would have been a death sentence for your character. It would have been a slow death.
In fairness, I'm an opera singer. I'm used to dying slowly over 3 hours.
fair.
Oh God! It's
What makes it worse though is Virulence 11. You are contagious to anybody who comes near you, so you would never have been able to been. Yeah, it would have been bad.
Oh man,
Couldn't properly.
It is bad. So anyway, you definitely found 1 or more gold because you were awarded.
We got 2.
Because you helped the dwarf out of the tree, which was an amazing roll, and amazing sorcery was used, and that was incredible. Everyone, I think, if you activated your pride, you're definitely gaining an XP. That's definitely you, Sylvain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, because it's the end of the adventure, everyone's gonna get a point for suffering from their dark secret, even you, Jacob. Because there was certainly a moment where you went into a graphic description of a certain item you were carrying, and that's all I'm gonna say. I appreciated that, and
Oh gosh, I have to scrub it on now.
Yeah. Did you risk your life for another PC? Yes, each of you did. I'm gonna give you all 1 XP for that. And G, did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind? Each of you did. Each of you did something pretty dangerous, pretty reckless, from Gordon running towards the manticore to Sylvain deciding to go up the tree and just, which that could have been a whole bit, to Thaydri going full like, fuck it, I'm gonna overcast and risk my life.
Burning everything.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I particularly, definitely the reason why I'm giving you the bonus XP B is because I fucking love the dramatic choice of not being able to do it. Jacob
It
couldn't
hurt.
do it.
Yeah.
There was a moment where I'm like, this is a chance to give B like a moment to do something with Jacob that's heroic, and you did something even better. And it was
You actually did something heroic.
Yeah, you couldn't do it.
Merrick saved Jacob. Like, he can't kill his asshole friend.
Beautiful revelation to have had as well.
Right at the
Thank
end.
you,
And,
Mr. Campbell, for doing terrible things to our feelings.
Yeah, no
you will
problem.
be hearing from my feels lawyers.
Thank you so
had
much.
feels lawyers?
In this field?
Oh.
Y'all, thank you so much for coming with us on the adventure into the Forbidden Lands. And thank you for letting me introduce you to our homebrew city, Seven Raven and the Perch. The Miststalkers are also a homebrew creation of the Streampunks, so hopefully we'll get to see some of these kids again someday. Thank you so much for coming along with us on the adventure. And if you're watching this on YouTube and VOD and whatnot, thank you for following us along. And don't forget to like and subscribe and all that other jazzy stuff that you hear in every damn video. For all of us, to all of you, thank you again for all of your supports and for the story point that saved Sylvain's life. We will catch you for announcements coming soon about the launch of Changeling the Dreaming. But until then, my friends, Raven watch over you.